The heroes of Adventure is Nigh are courageous, mighty, and cuddly? Well, now they can be. Mortimer, Dabarella, Grinderbin, and Sigmar Iceblood are available in plushie form, each with their own adventuring accessory. Display them, hug them, or have them perform in your very own Adventure is Nigh fan fiction. We don't need to talk to every NPC. Yeah, instead, let's make a quick and decisive plan. Get your Adventure is Nigh plushie now at sharkrobot.com or click on the link in the description. And for a limited time, you can buy all 4 at a reduced cost. I'll try the path the Dungeon Master intended me to. Oh blimey, this time I won't use deception.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Firelink Podcast, episode number 57 for Thursday, March 6, 2025. Marty Sleva here, joined by Casey Wosu, Nick Calandra, and producer Eric. And we got a show for y'all tonight. We're going to be talking about the ins and outs of Jaleel White. We're going to be talking about Monster Hunter Wilds breaking all sorts of sales records and becoming the fastest-selling Capcom game of all time. We're going to talk about some of our favorite games from Steam Nextfest. We're going to talk about Tony Hawk 3 and 4 being remastered, and yes, I did write the title, and yes, it's a lie, because I like when all my favorite old games come back, so keep doing that. And then we're just going to answer a bunch of your Patreon questions that you find folks at the $5 tier and above drop for us. Remember, every week, you can ask questions over on Patreon if you're at the Patreon tier at $5 and above. We appreciate all of y'all for that. How are you guys doing? Look at that. We got through the intro. We're done. Smooth sailing to the end of the show.
With no Sonic lore.
There's a lot of Sonic lore going on. Listen, we talk about Jaleel. We can't talk about Jaleel White without the Sonic lore. So.
It's a crucial part of his no, what do you call it? Like a person's
biography?
That's not what you would call like the works they've done.
Filmography?
Right, filmography.
Gotcha.
That's the word.
Sonicography.
Sonicography, yeah. Hedgehography. How are you guys doing? Nick, several people have asked, want an update on pickleball. Do you have an update on pickleball? And I swear to God, if we still haven't done it yet, I'm going to burn this mother to the ground.
We did do it, but I have been misleading you two for the past few weeks about what I've been doing on Wednesday nights. I'm not actually playing pickleball.
What?
I actually joined a beer pong league.
Were you just ashamed of saying that for us to switch the podcast?
Oh, no, well, I have pickleball too, but I also joined a beer pong league. So pickleball's going good, but yeah, this a local restaurant near us called basically they're doing a bunch of like different sports leagues, and since I've gone there with my friends for pickleball, they basically invited us in to try like get this league started with them. So my buddy and I have been going over there to play beer pong because that's what they're trying to get going at this restaurant. And we're kind of helping out the local community.
So how
I feel like Casey and I both have a lot of questions.
Yeah, I'm very confused by this. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Because you for some reason you said I've been lying to you guys, but then said no, I have been playing pickleball. So that
and
was
you've
a
been
lie.
going to the place with pickleball. That'd be like,
well, I have pickleball and this.
Yeah, so you didn't lie.
You know.
First of all, except when you lied to us about you lying, which I don't understand why you did that.
Well, I've been misleading why I go to play pickleball on Sunday nights. On Wednesday nights when I go play beer pong.
So did something change, or like you legit just like, I'm going to give you guys this information?
they changed up the schedule of when we're doing the two.
Okay, I mean that's
things.
fine.
Yeah.
This is a weird thing to say to a bunch of dudes who talk about toys for a living. Are we too old for beer pong?
No.
Like beer pong just seems like something. I think I'm too old for beer pong.
No, it does seem something that is intrinsically tied to college. That was when I learned what it was, and then after I left college, it kind of never came back up in my life again.
No, this place we go, they do like all kinds of different sport leagues. Like they have sand volleyball courts.
When you say sport,
yeah,
like
yeah, they have sand.
What are
sand
volleyball other sports?
They have sand
included?
volleyball courts. They have like cornhole. They have.
It's not a sport. Why is every other thing not a sport?
Cornhole's a sport.
Cornhole is absolutely not a sport. That's just throwing a bag.
That's an activity. Yeah,
that's an activity.
No, I don't know about that being a sport.
What about bowling? Is bowling a sport?
Bowling is a sport. Bowling is a sport.
You're just throwing a ball at pins.
It's a sport of kings. Who do you think you are? I am. That guy is my hero. I love that man. I'm trying to get him on the pod. I don't know how to do that.
Tana says, with advanced age, you don't need an excuse to drink. Well, that's the thing. Like, if you've played beer pong in college, you know that it's done with water. You're not actually drinking out of those cups.
Who's college?
No, my college is with beer. What?
Really? Well, I mean, you have beer on the side. You have beer on the side, but you're not throwing the ball into the pond.
Look, pre-COVID, shit was wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know.
It was 2008. Absolutely, little brew dogs, the cheapest brew dog humanly possible. In the
it
bottom.
seems like eventually folks decided to be a lot more sanitized, but they absolutely filled those cups with beer.
Oh yeah, they used to, yeah. And then you realize the ball is landing on the floor that everybody's stepping on. And you're like, maybe I don't want to put that in my mouth.
I've looked weirder. Casey, what do you got going on?
Well, I showed Marty a little earlier, but this is gonna sound so old man of me. But I'm so proud of the wedding prints I did. Like I spent like a week graphic designing like a 2-sided card. On one side is a QR code that anyone who's going to be at the wedding for both of them, this is going to transfer from the traditional one as well as the St. Lucia one. But anyone who scans the QR code can add whatever pictures they've taken to like a cloud, and then we can pull them off from the cloud afterwards, because my fiance is obsessed with pictures, and she doesn't just want the pictures she paid for. She wants all the pictures that everyone else takes as well. Like it's
you don't want just the pictures that
insane.
Look good. You want the pictures that also look kind of bad but are fun.
Yeah, she wants them, and So I created this beautiful little card. It's got like a ton of pictures of me, my son, and Kia, and like a little picture mosaic thingy. But then QR code is bright in the center. And then the flip side of that is, since we don't want wedding gifts from anybody, like appliances, etc., we just need cold hard cash. Is a bunch of QR codes. It just says, hey, you can pay via Cash App, you can pay us via Zelle, like whatever you got. If you want to give us a gift, here you go. This is how you get it.
Cold hard cash.
Like
you're gonna have like drop boxes set up around the city. Like there's a rock, you can pull the rock up, but you can leave some cash underneath it. We'll check it in the morning.
Like but they came out so good looking. Like I've been like, graphic design is not my bag. It's something I've dabbled in here and there as needed, but it's something that a couple months ago I felt really self-conscious about, because like I had a thing to do at work and realized how bad I was at it. Sure. Because I threw together like a concept and gave it to like a real graphic designer on my team. It was like, hey, can you make this good? And it was so much better than what I did. I was like, shit, I got to step my game up. So this is sort of like I am seeing some improvement in my ability here. So like I was just really proud that like when the final product finally came, it was like, oh, this looks like professionally done.
I know it's not a good response, but I am so aware of how bad I am at graphic design that I don't even try, and I don't even attempt to learn, because I just see what like Pat Manathan and El Cheshire and Matt
like,
and
these are like
true, can do on our teams.
Experts.
Yeah, and I'm just like, well, at a certain point, why even try? Like, I know you can learn things, but at this point, I'm like, I don't need. I'm just not gonna learn this.
That's how I am with like art. I can do graphic design, but I cannot do art.
But art's such like a broad, like, I guess you mean like drawing, painting.
Oh yeah. I can't I can't draw stick figures the correct way.
Yeah, I had a real gut punch when it came to art, like in early college. Like someone drew a still life horse in front of me, and like horses don't stay still. So I'm like, what did you just do, you fucking wizard?
I took an art.
That you drew the back part of it. It's like that one meme of like the show for the 6 seasons, and your horse.
Like I was drawing barn doors because those are stationary. And then this dude is drawing a whole horse. I'm like, come on, I don't belong here.
I got started with my graphic design by when I was like, I think early junior high, working on like people used to make like really cool like designs for their gamer tags and stuff and try to sell them online for YouTube and stuff. So I got started doing that using GIMP and just I go back and look
GIMP?
at these things like, what the fuck was that doing?
What's GIMP?
GIMP is a free photo editing software. If
Yeah,
you
it's
want
like Photoshop.
That's an unfortunate
Open
name.
source.
Why is it called
It's a bad
GIMP?
name.
Bring out the GIMP. Pulp Fiction, great movie. Casey, one thing you could be drawing in motion would be a Rathalos, because a lot of people are going to want pictures of that man. Is that even what his name is?
That is the name of a monster, yes.
Yeah, Rathalos, the monster hunter himself.
Rathalos.
Rathalos.
Rathalos, yeah.
Janine
Asher
Rathalos. Asher Rathalos. We obviously Monster Hunter has been the big game of the week, not only on Second Win, because a rare 2-streamer for a game. Nick, you played it with Jenna on Tuesday.
Yeah, back to back.
Casey, y'all, you, Jess, and Jay played last night. Clearly, this game is resonating with a lot of folks. It has sold 8 million copies in 3 days, so that number has already grown, making it the fastest-selling Capcom game ever. As a reminder, Capcom makes Resident Evil, Capcom makes Street Fighter, but this has blown those out of the water, and it is also the biggest physical PS5 launch in Japan of any PS5 game ever. So
it's
clearly
super impressive, but not surprising.
Yeah, we were kind of just like, I don't know. It seems like Monster Hunter is almost that series that's just like, yeah, every entry is good, and yeah, it gets more and more popular every time. It's almost like not flashy in how big it's getting. And obviously the story around it, like the game has scored very well. It seems like PC players are having some troubles. Was that right? Like it was kind of optimized a little shoddily or...
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
That's the case with almost every PC release these days.
I'm just saying, what if we all played games on consoles? Imagine that.
There's just too many graphics cards and too many processors to optimize.
Not in my Xbox. My Xbox handles all of that. They know what's going on.
I agree. Consoles are king in my mind.
The simplers for the simple boys. Yeah, Casey. What? Obviously, you've put the most time in it. Like, you said this doesn't surprise you whatsoever how big it is?
No, like I absolutely saw this coming. Like it's been in the water that Monster Hunter has only grown since like its big Western breakout in World. Like World was like a huge kind of. I believe before this, Capcom's biggest selling thing was World, right? So, the law of sequels in video games tends to go that way. Like you have a big smash success. Once you do put the inevitable big sequel out, that's going to do those numbers. And Capcom has the added ability of having done this particular game for years and years and years and years, and always sort of improving it one way or another. Like Monster Hunter has never really been like bad in any real capacity, like maybe different. And that's something I think Jay is going to be, talking about, because like they do take bold steps with each game. Like you can go back and play Rise, for example, and it'll feel very different from Wilds. And like that allows you to basically jump back and forth between them if you're that into the games. Like I miss the stuff that's in Rise, but like World is offering a slightly different experience. And that's cool. Like it's brave of Capcom to not rest on his laurels in that way and just keep trying to feed what they think is like a machine. Like no, these people have goals and actually attain them within each new release, and that actually helps draw people into it and basically figure out what it is about Monster Hunter that has such staying power, which is really cool.
What is Sonic in this game?
No, Eric's showing
what
like
am I looking at?
So like DLC skins for World, yeah.
Okay.
There's like all the crossovers and stuff, because it's a big thing. So like, yeah, eventually
I was extremely taken aback.
All the tie-ins will come in.
Yeah, it also I think helps that each, like you mentioned, each new entry kind of just being its own thing. That frees it of any baggage that we saw with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth not selling as well as Remake. Because that's also like, you get that game, you're like, well, fuck, a lot of people are talking about this game, but I have to play this 80-hour thing that came out a few years ago. Like, I think that's one of the things Elden Ring had going for it, is like by not having a number attached to it. It's like even Dark Souls 3, you don't need to play Dark Souls 1 and 2, but the 3 being there makes it seem like maybe you should do that. And I think by Monster Hunter just going with subtitles, that works out pretty well. Like Nick, you played it for the stream. Like, are you gonna keep playing it? Like, did it hook you more so than the Monster Hunter games in the past or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely liked playing it with Jenna. I'll probably continue playing it. I'm kind of working through my backlog at the moment. I'm not like in a rush to play it. The story that kind of annoys me more than anything. But other than that, I just like more Monster Hunter. It's good stuff. I liked Worlds when I finally got into it. But I think the main thing for me is like I never engaged with the end game, and so I do want to since the campaign is a lot shorter for this one, I think that's more incentive for me to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big. It's funny how it was a big release, but then obviously they're extremely different games. But then the reviews dropped, and then I think today Split Fiction came out, which also had incredible reviews. I think they said it was the first EA game to have a Metacritic of 90 or above since Mass Effect 3.
Wow,
which is kind of nuts. Surprising that nothing since then, like that the Dead Space remake or something like that, didn't have 90 or above.
They really haven't released.
Yeah, they really haven't released a lot of single player.
Yeah,
stuff.
It's the BioWare stuff, which is all we've talked about, but on the downward curve, and Mirror's Edge 2, which wasn't super well received. Star Wars Battlefront games, which had their own problems with them. But like Respawn games didn't. Like Titanfall 2, the Star Wars Jedi games. I guess they didn't hit. 90 is a hard number to hit. Like some of my favorite games weren't able to hit that.
KC's a Jedi hater.
Well, I was going to say, like, though the Jedi games are good, they're not great. So it makes sense that they're not like 9/10s. But like, wasn't the first Titanfall like?
Titanfall 1 didn't even have a campaign.
Yeah, it didn't have a single player campaign. So,
but it scored high though, right? But that was that pre Mass Effect?
It was like 80s
as well, or
no, because Mass Effect 3 would have been 2013, I think, or 2011. So yeah, it was a while ago.
Okay, yeah, I thought both the Titanfalls were very well regarded.
The first game was knocked for not having the single player campaign, and then the second game, no one played because we as a society fail our artists.
But it didn't score high.
I hope it scored high.
It was mid 80s. It was mid 80s.
Which again is incredibly good, but just 90s very hard to get.
Gotcha.
Which, yeah, I'm excited for. I'm jumping into Split Fiction this weekend with a buddy of mine, so I'm excited to see what's going on in that game. From what it sounds like, it's even more. I can't believe you spent this much time and creative energy and money on a mechanic that you use for 4 minutes. Which great. I'm a big fan. I just like seeing people burn money. Every once in a while. I say I want to see.
They made enough money that they could just give it away for free. So
yeah.
So it's basically just a sequel to It Takes Two. Like they just did that again.
I think mechanically, it is very much like that evolved. That sort of idea where you're constantly oscillating between gameplay styles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Every game they've done since A Way Out has done that. I think Brothers A Tale of. Well, yeah. That's what I meant. A Way Out has a lot of different mechanics too. I think the only game
where it's like you can sit down and play checkers or whatever. Yeah.
Brothers was more straightforward, but
yeah, it was just you and your fingers, you and your left thumb and your right thumb. There's another platforming game called like Ambidextrios, or where you play as two wizards at the same time, and it says like a 2D kind of like a 2D hell platforming maze that they have to reconnect, and you play one wizard on your left hand and one wizard on your right hand, and let me tell you. That's my next war monkey. But don't worry. I have
what
about
your first war monkey?
But don't worry. Nidoram with the $2 dono. Thank you so much, Nidoram, here in the chat. Said, I would like to hear more about War Monkey. You're going to get more about War Monkey in our final segment of the day, what you've been playing. Because let me tell you, I bought War Monkey. More expensive than I thought.
I have to keep checking the name because I keep thinking you're saying War Monkey, but it's
War Monkey.
Warm. No, it's Warm.
War Monkey.
Not hot. Warm.
War Monkey.
War Monkey.
If there's two M's in a row, I don't gotta say both of them.
War Monkey and Dunk Dunk.
I purchased it. I played 15 minutes. It crashed my Steam Deck once, but let me tell you, I'm having a great time, and I'll explain why at the end of the stream. And then Ben Knight, thank you so much for being in the tip jar for 6 months. Appreciate you, Ben Knight. Moving on to the speaking of weird indie games, Nextfest wrapped up. We will have our favorite demos to wishlist video up in the near future. That is all done. Steam also released a list of the most played demos, some of which are things that we played and covered on that will cover on the in that video, as well as we streamed Haste yesterday, and that was one of the breakout ones. I know, Casey, you wrote about that. Anything from here stand out, or anything just like I know, Nick, you're like big on kind of like play a bunch of them, kind of seeing what the trends are from there. Like anything stand out that feels different than last Nextfest's. This is why you got to put two M's together.
Nextify.
Nextify.
I think one of the emerging trends that I'm excited about from the indie scene is the return of just action adventure games that are not straight up Souls-likes. Where there's like a lot of, Eric was just showing a trailer of like that Kyborg game was in there. There was a playtest I did for 13Z, I think, which is kind of like a anime inspired of action game. The Rise of Rebellion demo is still in our Steam account, but I haven't gotten a chance to try that just yet. And then the one that I quite liked was Imperial. I don't know if you played that one.
No, I saw it. It has a Y. It has a sneaky Y in there.
It does have a sneaky Y. That one is interesting. I think it needs a bit of work on the combat feel, but it's almost like a single player extraction kind of action adventure game with a story. You go into this big monolith thing, and it kind of randomizes the rooms you go through and everything, and like different environments and everything. And then you fight a lot of bosses and try to get out with all the gear that you collect. So, it had like a social hub area. It's single player, but it had like a social hub area. That's kind of what I put the demo, because I get to those sections and I'm like, I really don't want to talk to all your vendors, but
make friends with the vendors.
Yeah, but the same thing with like the last few Nextfest. Deck builders are really, really big right now, and survivors games are really, really big right now. It's like pretty much everybody and their mother is making a Vampire Survivors like game right now. And
They're still doing that?
Oh God, yeah. There's so many. There's so many. Now they have spaceship ones. There's some that are coming out where you're like a ship in the middle of the sea fighting things. There's 3D ones coming now. It's so many. I can't even keep up with all of them.
Yeah, those were sort of the big. If reading any of the tea leaves, still sort of cozy crafting life sims, roguelike deck builders, and then like you said, the survivors likes. I was expecting more takes on Balatro, which we got that word outro the other week, but
there's I think there's like a billiards outro game too. They keep putting outro at the end of it, which please come up with better names for your games.
No, they want the similarity.
That's a feature, not a bug.
There was a bunch of people like shitting on the word outro name. I think that one works. I don't know about the billiards one.
Like, is Balatro a word? Like, does that mean something?
I believe it's a term for a jester.
Yeah,
like an old-timey term for a jester, for a clown.
So it doesn't make sense then to just put outro afterward.
Or I don't know. Maybe all these games got clowns in them. We don't know.
Games don't have to make sense.
That is true.
And then the other thing I got to play, which a bunch of other outlets released more in-depth previews of, what was Clair Obscure Expedition 33.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm really excited.
Did you try that? Did you try that preview yet?
No, my computer will not run it.
Oh, right. You have a monster.
I tried.
Is it PC only?
No, it'll be coming to consoles too.
No, I mean
just
the preview.
The preview build.
The preview,
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, all the previews were super glowing praise for it. I had the same exact praise, like immediately engaging with the characters. They have a huge voice talent cast that you immediately want to listen to, and then the combat is basically a Western RPG's take on Persona style combat. With the shooting, you can shoot your gun at specific points and everything, just like in Persona. So I'm all in on that game. Some people were complaining about how linear it is, but I just don't care. I'm okay with a completely linear game because there's too many games that just give you too much to do. I just want a good story and good combat and good characters, and that's so far Expedition 33 is delivering that.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying the game I see a lot of people comparing it to is Final Fantasy X in terms of its linearity, which 10 is more linear than the couple Final Fantasies before it, but is one of the most beloved games in the series. So I have a feeling this game will do very well.
Yeah, there's a ton of hype behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were saying with the combat. Like I know it's like JRPG-ish turn-based, but there's like lots of buttons popping on the screen. So is it doing like that sort of Chrono Trigger, Sea of Stars sort of timing-based thing?
Yeah, there's some timing stuff in there. It's
Chrono Trigger doesn't do that, Casey. That's really offensive for you to say.
Chrono Trigger does do that.
No, it doesn't. Are we going to do
doesn't?
this right now?
I mean,
Casey,
no,
are me and you going to sit here
Marty's
right now
about
and
to
do
get out of
this?
his chair and fight you.
What is Chrono Trigger? Because Chrono Trigger was one of the very few JRPGs that was much more engaging in its combat because there was stuff you could do. So like what
like characters are moving around the battlefield, so like sort of autonomously. So and certain attacks are like, oh, I'm going to spin my sword around in anything in this range. So you can kind of choose the range. You know, you're thinking more of like the Paper Mario games that had like a button timing thing, and that's where it got to Sea of Stars. Then a lot of indie games.
Yeah, I didn't play the JRPG Paper Mario.
Chrono Trigger had dual techs where two characters could use their turn to do like a sick cross slash.
Can't remember that.
Sick as hell.
So I guess it's just Sea of Stars I'm talking about then.
Yeah, probably.
The first game ever.
I think
someone must have done that before Sea of Stars.
Yeah, because he was inspired by what was the Mario RPG?
Yeah, Mario RPG and Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi.
Okay, so it was Mario RPG that might have been okay. Gotcha.
One other trend, and Marty, I'm sure you saw it, is the return of kind of PS2, GameCube platformers, along with some like Nintendo 64.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm excited for this.
The Nightling, Rough in the Riverside. There's one on Kickstarter today. I keep seeing it. That's heavily inspired by Rayman. That's on Kickstarter right now. I will try to dig up the name. Everybody's been sharing it on my feed. Here it is.
Everybody loves Rayman.
Rad Venture.
The name of the game is Rad Venture.
Yeah, not a great name.
But yeah, we covered a bunch of these in this video that's coming out. Casey, you wrote about Nightling.
Yeah.
I wrote about Demon Tides, which is the follow-up to Demon Turf, Ruffy in the Riverside, and then a game called Hero Quest 64 that I really enjoyed. Yeah, I'm stoked for these kinds of games making a comeback, especially since there's so many. What was that? Frog?
You said Kiro
Quest
frog,
64.
Right? I think.
It's yeah. You're making. Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's like Japanese word for frog.
I've literally never said that word before, except when I recorded VO. Where were you when I needed you? Where were you when I needed you? I get it. That I deserve that one. That was like that was a receipt for me getting mad about Chrono Trigger. I appreciate that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but yeah, and I like that they're taking like all the different outlets of how you don't just have to make a game that plays exactly like Mario 64. You can take a more kind of PS2 platformer route, which I feel like the Nightling was. You can go full N64 like Keto Quest. Did I say it right?
Yeah, great. Amazing. Well done.
Keto Quest.
Yeah, Keto Quest.
No, it's just a soft KE. It's not key. It's K.
Keto Quest.
Keto.
I don't know. Why did you
Keto.
why did you add all that?
Oh, I'm so self-conscious. There's a video going up. With me saying that.
Make sure to call them out in the comments, chat.
Yeah, they'll be perfectly fine about it.
Oh, no. Everything's gonna be terrible. A couple other games I really liked was Wheel World, which I talked about in the video, which is an Annapurna published game. It's from Messoff, the developers of Nidhogg. This is a very un-Nidhogg game where it's like an open world. It feels like Breath of the Wild in terms of like its color and how its open world unfolds and the things you do in it, but you're just riding a bike. Like riding a bicycle around this like really gorgeous pastel island, and the bike is haunted by a nice little ghost pal. And so it's just like I'm a fan of riding bicycles in games. Yeah. I don't know why. I think it just feels good, and it feels very good in this game. And this definitely seems like one of those plop into an open world and chill out to extremely good vibes. So I'm really excited for that. And then Wonder Stop, which comes out
next week.
Oh my god, that's
5
so
days.
soon. Yeah, wow. That's by the that's by Davey Redden, the guy who was behind Stanley Parable and The Beginner's Guide. But this definitely looks like it's taking that sort of, if not fourth wall breaking, like extremely deep and sensitive narrative and combining it with a sort of cozy farm potion crafting simulator stuff. So very excited for that. Was there anything else, Casey, you played that you liked?
I mean, everything that I played and like I put in the video. There was a game I was kind of middling on called Brew, and that's only because like the concept is strong, but it's just something we've seen before. It's a roguelike dungeon third person shooter, but your guy's like a little wizard mouse. And so like they had a cool thing where as you're defeating enemies, they drop things and then you can basically craft on the fly like one of three different elemental spells. And what you do with that, well, you brew a potion, three elemental potions. And what you do with that potion are one of three things. You can either load it into your gun so you have a special fire thing for a limited time. You can literally just throw it at an enemy so it has its own particular effect, or you can drink it and it gives you like some sort of a buff. So like I really like that idea, but everything was just implemented very basically. Like I want to see, I would want to see that kind of expanded upon and like a little bit more polish on the demo itself. So like I didn't feel like I could do anyone a service trying to recommend it, but I did have a good time with it while I was playing it. It's just it needs a little more time to cook, if anything. That was Brew, if anyone missed it.
Yeah, there's that's interesting because I have those kinds of games where I play a demo and I'm like, ooh, I don't want to tell anyone about this because this might be bad, but there's something interesting here. Yeah, and I want to see if they turn a corner at some point, and then I'm gonna feel good about recommending it. So,
and I didn't get a chance to try the demo yet. Like it was been on my list, but the first Berserker Kazan, and I think the demo's still available.
Yeah, and that's like, you can. I think you can download that on consoles even.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah.
I've tried that one. You will.
Like you did try it.
Yeah.
You said I won't like it. What happened?
No, I said you will like it.
Oh.
It's got like a good parry system.
Yeah, like
it's really solid. I think the first boss fight a little rough, but definitely one of the more solid Souls-likes I've tried from the demo at least.
So it is a Souls-like it's copying that formula.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
because the combat looked a little more flashy, but the same could be said for Code Vein.
Yeah, I mean, I would put it like, Liza P kind of fast.
Well, I get what, sort of. Like Liza P
it really just depends on the gear
methodical. Yeah, but like you're right. It's like there's a scale for sure, and this is leaning.
You liked you liked Code Vein, right?
I did like Code Vein. Yeah, Code Vein. It was the
reminded me of that a lot.
Yeah, so
yeah,
I was intrigued. I like the look of it. It's a Nexon joint.
Yeah.
I can't figure. Is this anime? I can't. The man looks like a little anime, and then nothing else looks anime. Yeah,
yeah. It's a interesting art style. I'll say that.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm gonna give it a shot as soon as I can.
Does that one have a release date?
March 27th, my birthday.
That's also soon. A lot of these games are coming soon, which is very exciting. Like several of the games in our Nextfest video that's coming out have release dates in the next month or two, which is very cool.
Yeah, we literally just got a review code for one of them today.
Yeah,
two of them actually. Two of them.
Oh my god, the number keeps growing. If I don't get to the next topic, the number is going to go up.
Yeah.
And then, as you can see on our thumbnails, just wanted to touch a little bit on the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4 announcement, which was heavily rumored, reported, leaked, all that, and then finally officially announced earlier this week. The game, as you could tell, is bundling the third and fourth games in the same way that the first and second games were bundled together. Obviously, zhushed up visuals. And then some things they said they removed, like the career mode from 4 isn't going to be in there. Like it's just going to be kind of treating it like the levels in 1 through 3, where it's just here's 2 minutes in a park. I'm
kind of
the 10 things.
That kind of sucks. I remember liking the career mode stuff and the deletion of the time limit thing in 4.
Yeah, I think people are kind of bummed about that because that was the kind of thing that paved the way to like the Tony Hawk's Underground kind of like more open world stuff. I was a big 3 guy, so that's really what I'm excited for here. And
I kind of only played the odd numbers. Now I'm thinking about it. Like I played 2.
I did too.
I played 4.
Or the even numbers. Yeah, it was funny. I was the opposite. I played 1 and 3.
Yeah, I played 3 a lot, and I played 1. I don't remember 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2 were on original PlayStation, and 3 was big. The first PS2 one.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's coming July 11th to everything. It's even though it's an Activision game, it's not locked to Xbox. It's coming to PC, PlayStation, Switch, and Xbox, but also have Game Pass. And there's that weird tie-in that we can see on the art. The Doomslayer is there, which Doomslayer was in, I believe, the PC version of Tony Hawk 3. Like Tony Hawk has had weird guest characters, like they had Darth Maul and Spider-Man and
Wolverine and
yeah. So it makes sense that. Now that they're all under Microsoft, it's like, oh, who can we pull that makes sense? It's funny that
how's Master Chief not in there over Doom Guy?
That's what I'm saying. It's Doom Guy's way more relevant than Master Chief now. I think. That's
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
and I mean, this is also like synergy with Doom Eternal or Doom: The Dark Ages, which is coming out.
That's true.
A month or two earlier. But yeah, it is funny. It feels like 10 years ago, Master Chief would have been a no-brainer here, but
Master Chief is known more for his cheeks now. How sad.
He's got great cheeks, though. I'm gonna say, he's got a real great ass. Are you guys looking forward to this at all?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to try 1 and 2 and just never did. Like, I didn't get access to it, and I didn't feel compelled to like spend money on it. But with this coming to Game Pass, like, I'm absolutely gonna give it a try.
Yeah.
Well, all I can really think of right now is like, damn, EA, you need to hurry up with Skate. You're gonna lose your market.
Yeah,
it's been in development for fucking ever. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I thought 1 and 2 were great as a modern combo, and I'm like I said, 3. I've probably put like 100 hours into. I played it just every day after school. I would finish it with another character. So looking back, that probably wasn't 100 hours. It was probably like 20 hours. But listen,
time was different back then.
Middle school, yeah, exactly. It was real different.
You guys get all the remakes you want. I just want a remake of Pain.
Fucking every day is a remake of Pain. What are you talking about? True. We're living it.
Is 4 the one that lets you get off the board and walk around, or did that start with Underground /
I think that started
American Wasteland?
Yeah, I think it started with those. I think 4 was still like relatively proper. Like they added like because 2 added the manual, 3 added the revert. I don't know what 4 added. Like
I think it added skitching. You can, like, grab on cars.
You could kiss another rider if you go close enough. Quick back on the cheek. Yeah, I'm curious if they're going to get into, because that's some of that stuff. Like, I think they've said Bam Margera is not going to be in this game as a playable character, and he was like a part of the story in some of the later ones. Yeah,
it was like Tony Hawk versus Bam Margera as like the plot of like Wasteland. I think American Wasteland.
What happened with him? I don't
know.
I think he like had a substance abuse problem and then kind of became insane and started committing crimes.
That's what I figured.
He's probably just bad PR. Really is the main thing.
Yeah. So yeah, but looking forward to this, and obviously we'll have more on that later on in the summer. A couple folks with super chats about those. Nosk with $8 Australian. Thank you so much, Nosk. I assume someone already brought up Aggressive Inline, but I need a re-release of that. Quick Smart did Acclaim publish that one. I fucking loved Aggressive Inline. Of all of the Tony Hawk clones, where it was like, put him on a bike, put him on a surfboard, put him on this, Aggressive Inline was the one that it had a rockin' soundtrack, and B, every level, I think it was the first game with Levolution. Every level had a thing that could happen that could completely change the levels. I feel like I've talked about this on streams before, but there was like a level on a Hollywood backlot, and you could play it normally, but then if you complete all these objectives, the doors to all the warehouses open, and in each warehouse is like a specific movie. So it's like, oh, you can go into the spooky park, or you can go into the sci-fi park. Yeah, and a really good soundtrack. So I was a big fan of Aggressive Inline.
Nice.
I don't know. I wish they would bring back like some of the extreme sports games like Blitz or NFL Street, FIFA Street. Not before they sanitized FIFA Street, just made it FIFA and then added Street to it, but like the old FIFA Street where you could like bounce off the wall and kick somebody in the head.
Yeah, I think the NFL just doesn't want their license to like when you have a guy with CTE, murder. I think they're just like, we probably shouldn't like advertise that.
You could just jump people at the end of plays and Blitz. Like folks would just just shoulder drop and leg drop on people.
The what was the one on 360? Like it basically had like almost Sniper Elite's like X-ray vision where you would tackle somebody, just break their legs.
I mean, like used to be like in football. It used to be like, oh, a guy's running across the middle, and look, he got hit. Oh, and his legs are shaking, and I'm like, that's because he's losing. That's because his brain's bleeding.
He's having a seizure.
That's not good.
I miss the game I played all the time.
NBA Street, I feel like could come back. A, that game like aged gracefully, and B, it wasn't like you weren't like killing the other players. It was like
it wasn't about
doing street ball moves.
Really.
Yeah.
NHL Hits. I remember that one too. I think they.
Oh right.
Somebody just did something on that, I think. But like, yeah, my dad and I used to play that all the time, and I would not try to beat him by scoring goals. I would just try to smash every single pane of glass in the game with his big players, and he would get so upset.
I feel like this, like your backstory explains so much, so much.
That roguelite hockey game. I forget the name of it, but we've covered it. Tape to Tape, yeah. It's like basically NHL Hits, but roguelite, and I love it. Waiting for 1.0 release of that. I think there's a soccer type roguelite game coming too that does some of that.
I still think the weirdest soccer game ever made was Mega Man Soccer. During Super Nintendo, really Capcom random. Was just like, what if we make a Mega Man soccer game, and every team is just filled with different men Mega Man has killed. Just very strange. I don't know why it existed.
It's super clear why it exists. Someone was making a soccer game. Capcom was like, we need a license to stick onto this.
Oh yeah, I guess now that you explain it, yeah. And how quick can we put the Mega Man characters in here? Probably about a week. Okay, great. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that explains why. Well, bring that back. Listen, Tony Hawk can come back. Mega Man Soccer can come back.
Mega Man period can come back.
I don't know if they can. Capcom, you listening? Oh, Kami's coming back before Mega Man.
That's wild. I mean, that's the thing. They tried to bring Mega Man back, and I don't think it worked.
In which?
They said, remember Mega Man 9, 10, and then 11? Like 9 and 10 were testing the waters, and then they made a new one in that vein with 11, and then they just stopped because I'm assuming it didn't sell well.
Yeah, it just feels like now they just like look at the indie market, and it seems so flooded with games that are clearly inspired by Mega Man. You know, you've covered a bunch of them, Casey. You've reviewed and streamed.
Yeah, and they're all so much better. I feel like
maybe that's what Capcom should do. Is like find one of those companies and let them make a Mega Man game in the same way that like Nintendo let what's their name make Metroid Dread. The studio just announced an action game that looks really boring.
We already got Recore.
We did already get Recore. That is true. Yeah. Nobody liked Recore.
Eric said Mega Man 11 sold 2 million copies.
That's a
like,
quarter.
A lot of weirdos out there.
Like to date. Like, is that like a now number? Because it released a while ago. So
probably
didn't.
Number. Yeah, probably the last time they.
Yeah.
2 million for that game still seems good because that wasn't like 100-person team or anything.
Yeah, as of 2023, Eric says. So yeah, like by the time they probably needed it to sell something like that, they were like, "This is a wash."
Yeah, they're like, "Fuck it." Yeah, moving on. Mercury Steam. That was the name of the Metroid Dread people, who just announced a fantasy action game that looks really boring.
Blades of Fire.
Oh, it's called Blades of Fire. What are we doing? What are we doing?
I'm a little bit worried about that one. I'll be seeing it at GDC though, so I'll be able to tell you.
I'll bite my tongue. I'll let you're going to see it soon. Hopefully, it makes a good first impression. Maybe it was just a boring trailer, but yeah. James Morgan with a $2 dono. Thank you so much, James. KSP2 still full price on Steam for a defunct game. Kerbal Space Program 2, I believe. Full price on Steam for a defunct game. Like you literally can't play it.
Yeah. Didn't the studio close after private
something
division?
like that? Yeah.
But you can't. Does it just mean defunct as in like they're not adding anything to it, or defunct as in you for $2 you literally cannot play it?
Well, it's $50.
Because they're not adding anything. Like that game's just stopped.
I think the mostly negative reviews should be able to warn you away from it. But if you still choose to buy it, well.
Okay, so the game's like still in early access, didn't get like fixed, but is just in limbo development.
Well, the studio's gone though.
Where does that money go? Like literally, like what account does that money go in?
I wish it was mine.
10 people buy the $2 Kerbal game.
It's $50.
I thought they said it was. Oh no, it was a $2 dono. Never mind.
That
I thought it was only $2. I was like, James said it was only $2. I was like, no, James gave us $2. That sucks. That should
Not happen.
I mean, the problem is there's no like human oversight on Steam, right? Or if there is a human.
Yeah,
doing
I'm really
oversight.
not sure how it's even being sold still because Private Division doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah,
And they were the publisher.
but something
So-
owned Private Division, right?
Take
They were like a
Two.
wing of like a
Take Two used to.
Take Two
Yeah.
used to own Private Division.
Yeah, so they closed that, and then I guess the hose just
forgot-
goes straight
just
to Take
forgot.
Two. I mean, they probably just take that money, but like they just don't put any more resources into supporting the stuff from there.
I don't know.
Junky. That's what I say. It's real junky. Not like a junkie. It's just junkish. Denmark with a $5 dono. Thank you so much, Denmark. Pro Skater 3 was a game I played the heck out of when I was little. I was so happy when I saw that it was coming. I even watched the trailer. Denmark, you just like the thirds in all the series.
You
So
like
to
those
say-
seconds.
I only like seconds at dinner, am I right?
Aha.
Got him.
Get the
Done
grip
them.
on.
That's false. I saw you eat 2 seconds at Omar's wedding.
I said I only like seconds at dinner. Am I right?
I thought you
I was
said
pro
you don't like
seconds there. No, gotta have good seconds. I didn't have seconds. It's a wedding. You can't have seconds.
I did.
Who seconds?
Some Jesse Galena wasn't there, so I got half his food off his plate.
So you accused me of having seconds when you ate Jesse's food?
Well, so did that guy we didn't know at our table.
Oh, that was so funny. That there was one rando at the table and we didn't know who he was, and he sat next to Jay and they started talking and they both had berserk tattoos.
Oh yeah,
And I'm like, this was
the entire night.
it was something like it was like before we even sat down, before we even knew where
Yeah.
we were sitting. I think like Jay, the
During
guy
cocktail
noticed
hour,
Jay's.
they met during
the guy
cocktail
noticed
hour.
Jay's
Yeah.
berserk tattoo, and they started talking. And they ended up sitting next to us. So
Beautiful.
I'm not sure if that's a matter. Yeah, that's love blooms on the battlefield.
Yeah.
When someone's eating seconds at a wedding. What is that? What is that picture?
That is someone bringing anime into their wedding.
That's
Oh,
a big
I
sword.
thought that was Omar. Like the out of focus dude on the left was Omar. S6 with $5 Thank you so much, S6. Said, did y'all see or talk about the early Command and Conquer game's source code being put on Steam by EA? One question: why? What was the business strategy there? I saw it was
have
on
seen that.
GitHub.
Yeah, it's on,
Like I didn't
it's
realize
on
it was
Steam.
on. Oh, that's cool.
I imagine my guess would be release a source code, see what the fans do with it, and then decide, hey, is this Command and Conquer thing still worth making? Maybe we should make a new one because the fans already did the work for us by showing us what they want.
Yeah, I think it's free positive PR, as Eric just said,
Mhm.
which a company like EA should never say no to that.
Yeah.
And B, like Nick said, I think it's also like a litmus test to see. I don't know, does anyone give a shit about this? We say that a lot with smaller games, with smaller, maybe with like a secret level thing of like, maybe this is a way to test the water to see if anyone gives a shit about this property.
They need the positive PR because Command and Conquer 4 was awful.
Oh, I don't even remember.
I went to Boston
EA is a
accent. I
whole-
went to Boston accent to say how awful it was.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you went to Boston to play it.
No. Yes, I just went to Boston to play that game to be upset about it and then left.
Yeah, that checks out. The only preview event I ever went to in Boston was Assassin's Creed 3, and we got to take a little tour on the old Revolutionary War Trail, and let me tell you, it was delightful. Boston, great city. Assassin's Creed 3, better in hindsight, a bad game.
I liked it. Then.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It did have a slow start. Like I'll cop to that, but like I thought that
Yeah.
game was great.
I don't want to play as a dude's dad. Ever.
Has not aged well. I will say that. It does not control well these days.
Mm,
I haven't called back to it in a long time.
But Lauren Balfe did the soundtrack for that game and I still listen to it.
Yeah, shouts out to Lauren Buff. Was that the person's name you just said?
Yep.
Crushed it.
Lauren Balfe.
Jewel Rao. €2 dono. Thank you so much, Jewel. Something money for the Firelinkies. What do we think of that? What do you think of Firelinkies?
I like it.
We like it. 2 out of 3 say we like it. Thank you so much. MetaSynapse with $5 Australian. Thanks, MetaSynapse. My skate game growing up was going to a friend's place to play the skate park levels in Spyro 3.
Oh my god, I forgot about those. I played that a lot.
Yeah. Between Spyro 3, you could play a little skateboarding in Metal Gear Solid 2 Subsistence. There was like a little bit of skateboarding in that because Konami then made their own skateboarding game called Evolution Skateboarding, which was notoriously terrible. But they included like a dry run of it as like a bonus level where Snake could skate on the big shell from Metal Gear Solid 2.
Oh, I remember seeing footage like this. What game was this in?
I believe this was in Metal Gear Solid 2 Subsistence, which was or Substance. It was like the Game of the Year Fancy Edition of Metal Gear Solid 2. But then Capcom ended up making their own. They made a game called Evolution Skateboarding, and I think there was also like Dracula was also in it from Castlevania. I don't know why I said from Castlevania. Like, what are they Dracula?
This is proof of the power of the Tony Hawk franchise during the 2000s.
Oh yeah.
I think it's also proof that Konami
the world back then. Sports and
Konami was also fine with like whoring out their characters anything. Like, yeah, fucking put the Ape Escape folks in here. Yeah, we'll put them in Monster Hunter, whatever. It doesn't matter. Nothing's sacred. Just give us our money. And I'm gonna be honest, I appreciate that. Luxable Jaeger with a $10 dono. Thank you so much, Luxable. How do you feel about the return to character action games that we've been seeing in the likes of Hi-Fi Rush and recently revealed Tides of Annihilation? Also, Marty, please say Yotai. Casey, please correct him. Thank you. Did I say Yotai wrong?
It's Tei.
Yotai. Fuck. I didn't keep any of the information I heard. What am I? Oh, I'm thinking of yokai.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would make sense.
That's a mean ghost.
Oh,
and you notice yokai is spelled
Kai.
Kai. So it's not. There's no like long vowels. It's Kai. That's what you're saying. Kai.
Wait, so that's so every time I've been saying Ghost of Yotai, I've been saying it wrong. I've been saying Ghost of Yotai.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yotai is correct. Because it's Te.
He said it right when he's trying to say it incorrect.
No. I meant to say it. No. I said it correctly, and then because I want to get it in my head to say Ghost of Yotai because it's one of the games on fucking whatever the fuck my team's name is.
Yeah, it's on your team, right? Yeah,
my team. It's one of my boys.
Does it count if he said it wrong?
Then Nick, you don't get any points. You don't get any points or anything.
I don't get any points because my game already got delayed. Fable.
You did have Split Fiction though, and that got a 91.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
there. Yeah. So sorry, Casey specifically. How do you feel about the return to character action games? I guess the non-Souls-like sort of.
Yeah, I love and I'm a big fan of Souls games in general. Who isn't? But yeah, like that faster, more fluid, like real, like hyperactive sort of action. Like I'm also a huge fan of, and I like to see them, especially if they do enough differently. And a lot of them that have been coming out have. So yeah, bring them on. Tides of Annihilation looks. Actually, Tides of Annihilation. That's the one with the lady and like all the flying around, right?
That does not narrow it down these days.
It kind of doesn't.
I actually don't know.
Eric's showing footage right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah, it does look cool.
Revealed but state of play.
It doesn't look like I couldn't tell you what the unique hook of this is.
Sorry, yeah, that was the King Arthur one, the Knights of the Round Table.
Right.
This one was sick as hell. Yeah.
So I would definitely want to get hands on and see like kind of what their combat like system feels like.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'll say?
There's a couple that are like kind of pushing the same button.
It's kind of funny, like China of all places, with their like reveal trailers and everything. Because I remember like Black Myth Wukong, everybody's like, "That's not real. That's bullshit. That's bullshit." It comes out, it actually looks like the reveal trailers. China has been more upfront about their games than Western publishers. It ended up coming out, and they end up coming out looking as good as they look in the trailers. Maybe not play as well, but definitely look as good.
I want to say they're like Black Myth Wukong in particular. Its initial trailer did look different than when the gameplay looks good, but it still didn't match that trailer. They did a really good job of matching their eventual gameplay to like that kind of bullshit trailer. but I still didn't like that game. Like I know a lot of other people did, but like, and I think I've put my finger on why, but
I think
yeah,
you
You
gotta
don't like Monkey Men?
we talked about it, but I think you got to get past the desert area and then it'll
no, I
really
think
click.
I don't think it was a matter of getting to a thing. I think it's a philosophy thing. It's that game is about using all of the powers you have, and like the thing that attracts me to these games is the core combat. Like I like the powers as like an extra element, but like that game requires it. Like you have to like just use a ton of like magical abilities that kind of makes some of the fights more trivial. Like I want that back and forth between learning the enemy pattern and then like my skill set, basically, weaving in those gaps with the enemy.
That's more what
it's
I
just
mean.
not that kind of game.
It is once you get farther in. We had a whole podcast where I talked about that.
Did you play Stellar Blade, Casey?
I played the demo and I liked it.
I finished it.
I did not want to pay money for that game though.
The moves just didn't jiggle enough for me, if I'm being honest. They were too stationary for way too long. They were clipping through the clothing. None of it looked real.
That game, I didn't like. I didn't love it. It was okay, but it's weirdly like the ending of the game is. I still think about the ending of that game of all games.
Oh, she get naked?
No. Wow, how simple-minded do you think I am? I only go play beer pong on Wednesdays. No, just the lore that ties into the end of the game was actually super interesting. It was weird.
I don't believe you. I'm just gonna say that.
Introduce you to our Lord and Savior Nier. Yeah. My family is starving. Someone play Nier. There you go. S6 with another 10 Australian dollars. Thank you so much, S6. I love how the first half of the podcast title is Stop Re-Releasing Games, which is immediately invalidated by the second half, except for when it's insert game person likes. Who decided which game is worthy of a re-release? I did, because I made the title and I put it in there. And also, it was mostly a joke for the 1% of people who would know that I was the one who made the title, and also all I like is when old games come back. So the title is meaningless. Spoilers. I wouldn't even say it's clickbait. I would just say it's nonsense. Because literally, I spent $50 today on Suikoden 1 and 2, which came out, so I could download them to my Switch. And I'm not even gonna get to them for a while because I'm finishing Grandia Remastered, another old game that came out.
Damn.
I like that. I like that distinction that you just made between clickbait and nonsense. So if somebody gets mad about a clickbait title, I'm just like, no, it's fucking nonsense instead.
My thing is, I didn't want anyone to even click into this podcast.
I didn't want you to be here.
You're trying to warn them off.
I was trying to warn them off. I was literally for a stream with Jack and I once. I was gonna be like, Elden Ring something, whatever. It's Thursday, just watch it. I don't know. Titles are.
I like the idea of our podcast titles is getting more and more deranged.
It's a bunch of like widgets, wingdings. Tsunami Doucher with a $10 donut. Tsunami Doucher, it's great to see you on a Thursday. Used to seeing you on a Monday. Fun fact: the Monster Hunter and Peace Walker, Metal Gear Peace Walker crossover came about because Kojima liked and borrowed Monster Hunter Freedom's button layout and reached out for the crossover. Ooh, that's a good fun fact. I didn't know that. So Kojima does play games.
Damn.
You could have fooled me. Big weekend for Death Stranding, by the way. On Sunday, it is being shown off at South by Southwest, a panel with Kojima, Norman Reedus, Troy Baker, and Woodkid. Everyone's favorite Woodkid. He's back.
That weird puppet?
No, he's a music artist.
He's a musician. Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard of
you. No, actually, you know what? If you remember Assassin's Creed Revelations, the reveal trailer, use Woodkid.
That's
Revelations.
Super
Is that old?
It's like the best trailer Assassin's Creed has ever had for the CGI trailer. You should go back and watch it.
Woodkid was way younger than that. I've just seen pictures of Woodkid. He looks young.
Because I don't know, Assassin's Creed 3's launch trailer was kind of amazing.
No, the Revelations trailer with Woodkid is one of the best trailers ever made.
That's a fun fact.
Emily Wami says, "How does Nick know that?" Because that trailer lives rent free in my head. I watch it every once in a while.
Go back, rank every single Assassin's Creed trailer.
You can't tell me that puppet is not also named Woodkid though. Like
he should be.
There's a puppet
But he's not even played by that guy, which is crazy. He's played by a different guy. He should be played by Woodkid. Anyways, the four of them, you guys are just trying to derail. The four of them, I was about to say Woodkid's going to be the four of them are going to be at South by Southwest on Sunday, and I believe at some point in the day they're holding a panel on Death Stranding 2 that I think is probably going to show off that new trailer he's been editing. Probably announce a release date, all that stuff, and probably pre-order collector's edition nonsense. So
that's
I'm
also
imagining we get a fall
right?
release date. Also, yeah. So listen.
So your fingers crossed for that date.
Oh my god! If it's January, I'm financially ruined.
Have any of your games been dated yet?
One of my games came out. Like a Dragon.
Yeah. Like
Someone asked earlier if you could watch. Yeah, you can click this link to go to our fantasy games. My games are doing fine.
Mm-hmm.
I look in complete terror because my games are not doing fine. No, Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra. The actor Kari Payton, is that his name?
Kari Payton, yes.
Kari Payton said in an interview it's coming out at Christmas when he shouldn't have said that, so that's good.
It's getting delayed.
Nice.
Pokemon Legends, they said, is still planned for the end of the year, and Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater is August, so everything's falling into place.
Voice actors generally don't actually know when the games are launching, though, right?
Like, they probably told him that like when he recorded his performance several years ago.
Right?
Like, Christmas 25. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that too much. So. Then Inverse Skies with $8 Thank you so much, Inverse Skies. What do you guys feel about re-releases through companies like Limited Run Games? I personally think that's cool. I like the limited run games, or even like a GOG who's trying to get into that. Like, if you vote for, like, they open the voting up for people to be like, I want this game to be added to GOG. I want this game, and then they'll, if something's popular enough, they might try to secure the rights to it. I think that's cool. I think any form of these preservation, whether it's a re-release, a remaster, anything is a net positive. I think some people have had some problems with limited run, like fulfilling orders, and I'm not sure if that's real. I don't know. Say it.
I've not. My Force Unleashed Switch copy is out in there somewhere in the world.
Wait, so that
it's not really their fault. I think. Well, I don't know. It was shipped to my apartment, and then my apartment never sent it to me. So I think whoever now lives in my apartment has my copy of my game, and I'm afraid to go over there.
They just have one game. They don't even play games. They just have one game.
I'm pretty sure they just
collection on their mantelpiece, and it's a Switch version of the
They're probably like, this thing's gonna be worth a lot someday.
Yeah.
Upset.
Upset. I'm sorry, Nick. You know what? Let's go to their apartment. Let's beat their ass. Think about that. Yeah.
And NHL hits it up.
Oh my god. Beer pong Wednesday, go to prison Thursday. Hell yeah. And then we didn't have like a main topic, and so I figured for a little bit we got some great Patreon cues from folks directly over at our Patreon, patreon.com/ I should know the Second Wind something
group
coalition.
Second Wind Coalition. Great questions. Like folks bouncing off our topic from last week. Pixel Grip said, just watch the Animal Wild doc, and it helped me think of a question for Nick. If you could go back in time and do a doc on any game with no restrictions on who is interviewed and what they're willing to disclose, what game would you make a doc of?
I would have loved to been able to tell the story of 343 before all the recent changes, and like see if I could get like unrestricted access to all the challenges they had developing Halo 4 and 5 and Infinite, because I think it's a really fascinating story. And now that the studio's been super broken up, it's going to be hard to ever really get that documentation on really what went wrong with that. And it was really funny that this question's brought up, because my mom was watching some like out of date interview, but it was with Bonnie Ross talking about women and getting into Microsoft and the gaming industry and everything. And so like I hope she's been gone from social media since she left 343, because like she just got horribly harassed on social media after leaving. And so like hopefully hopefully she's still in the industry somewhere, because I would love to interview her someday.
It's can you think of any video game documentaries that talk about like something going wrong, like the downfall of something? Because there are a lot of documentaries like that. It was like, oh, like this movie went terrible, or this
The Fire
this
Festival documentary.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But like the games industry is so guarded. Usually, it's like, well, we'll let you inside, but only to celebrate like the release of something good. Like I can't think of one off the top of my head where it's like, oh, this is why Yuji Naka went to jail or something like that. He didn't go to jail. I read his sentence was suspended.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to get those kinds of documentaries because when like those teams are, 50, 100 people and they fall apart and they're everywhere. So unless unless we had a big budget to go fly to all these different people, and a lot of them just don't want to talk about those things because they're super painful because it's a, creative industry. It's not just a business failure for them.
Or they're NDA'd up and can't talk.
Yeah. But
right.
Yeah. A lot of times it's just NDAs, indie like with the rise of indie studios, like there are definitely some studios that I would want to go talk to about how they fell apart, but a lot of the times right now, like it's just down to money. People not buying the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, when I did like the Darksiders documentary and the Larian documentary and all that, like got into the weeds of like what happened early on at those studios and like how much they had to crunch to make some of their games and like the kind of the life they were living when they were making those. Like Sven for Larian, was like basically spending his life savings to keep Larian alive because that's how they got to Baldur's Gate 3. So
he was sleeping in his armor.
Pretty much. So the one documentary I'm like really excited to see is Daniel Dwyer is working on NoClip on Disco Elysium documentary. And that'll be an interesting one of a success followed by a massive implosion.
Yeah, that should be very intriguing.
Casey, what would is there one like pie in the sky game story you'd want to tell?
I feel like I had an answer for this.
I don't mind. I was just to give you a little time to think. I would love to have had cameras embedded and open interviews during the development of Majora's Mask, which was famously like a year turnaround. Ocarina of Time came out, and like a month after it came out, they were like, "Hey, we need this game out pronto, and you just need to like use the assets you have from Ocarina of Time." And the fact that instead of just being like, well, let's just do the same thing again, they're like, well, let's just use the pieces to make something like truly avant-garde and kind of insane. I would love to be a fly on the wall who also spoke Spanish. But then I'd try to say Yotai, and they'd be like, get this fucking gringo out of here.
I don't know. Probably, like, honestly, probably something Nintendo related.
Mm-hmm.
But like, that's the thing, like, right? Like most of Nintendo's projects end up, oh, you know what? It wouldn't be a game. It would be, I would want to see Nintendo's reaction to the launch of the Wii U. Like just Wii U's launch, and then like them deciding like we got to end this generation now, right now.
Yeah,
like, I would love to see that.
Yeah, to go from like as high as they were to like, oh no,
like
what
they
do
must
we
have
do
been
now?
Completely taken aback. Like, oh, we miscalculated real hard.
Yeah, that whole period is probably their most and then coming back and rebounding with the Switch. Like that's that's probably like one of their most fascinating periods. Yeah. So who knows? What'll maybe made him in a month the Switch 2 will look like a complete disaster, and we could relive the roller coaster all over again.
I also love to do a documentary on From Software and Demon Souls, because I didn't realize like the Unpacked I did a few weeks ago talked about how Yoshida like didn't believe in Demon Souls, and you kind of straight up thought it was crap. So to kind of have that turn into the mega franchise it is now with Elden Ring, like that'd be a cool story to document.
Yeah.
I mean, Demon Souls was kind of crap.
That's the thing.
It just set a foundation for where do you
without the hindsight, which there are some outlets like Cousin McDonald reviewed gave the game glowing reviews at launch. So like some people saw the genius in it, but I feel like everyone can. It's easy to go back once you see what they end up doing and be like, the kernels of genius here. Whereas like I don't know, it's almost like if. Oh, I'm not trying to compare Demon Souls to the Gollum game. I'm just not going to say what I was going to say. That's how you dodge a bullet. And then slightly on the same topic, Andrew Whitewinter last week asked, when making documentaries, what motivates the decision not to have a narrator? I've noticed that's a common thread throughout the documentaries going all the way back to Divinity.
One, I would be a very bad narrator because my voice is not good for that kind of narration.
I mean, you don't want to narrate it though, right? Like you can have
no
narration or someone else do it.
Yeah. Part of it is I just like the way I like making the documentary. Jesus Christ, I just saw that filter. I like making documentaries in a way that like the developers just get to tell their own story, and so I format them that way when I'm doing the interviews. So basically the one thing I have to explain when we do the documentaries every time is like, Marty, I'll ask you a question. I'll be like, tell me what got you into game development. I always have to have the developers like restate the question.
Yeah, you can't just say, I liked games when I was a kid. You have to say, the thing that got me into game development was I was obsessed with games as a kid.
Yeah. So I just find it easier to, I guess it's not easier, it's harder to do it without a narrator because you have to find a way to like piece all those things together so it stays a steady story throughout and it's not all piecemeal.
We should get like a Ron Howard narrator who could just come in every once in a while, like in Arrested Development, and if someone lies or says something like, I'm really looking forward to the release of this game. He wasn't.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I just
watching Arrested Development too.
It's so good.
Yeah, everybody else does narration in their documentaries. I just wanted to do them without. I wanted to because we started not long after No Clip with Gamementaries, so Danny was already doing narration. I didn't really have like a talent person. We could get a voice for sure, but it wasn't like you go to watch No Clip because Danny O'Dwyer is making them, right? Mm-hmm. Like I wasn't that kind of name yet in industry.
There you go. Thank you, Andrew Whitewinter.
Please. Sorry, you should pioneer a doc with just no dialogue. Like tell the story with just
telling that using their eyebrows.
just visuals and music. Like we'll get it.
Isn't that like Planet Earth?
I guess so. Yes.
No, I think Planet Earth has a narrator, right?
Yeah, it does.
It's got like Richard Attenborough, right? David Attenborough, one of the Attenborough
brothers. Planet Earth is David Attenborough, and then Barack Obama narrated the one for Netflix.
Did you know Ben Stiller said they went to Barack Obama to voice the Lumen building in season 2 of Severance, and he said he was a big fan of the show, but he was too busy. I'm like, motherfucker, you could knock out those lines. That was like 2 pages of dialogue.
No, that's a good excuse to not do that because honestly, like, no, don't do that. You're Barack Obama.
Yeah. I mean, they got Keanu Reeves, who's like,
who's an actor. Like, yeah, don't ask a former U.S. president to fucking voice your building on a show.
Hey, you're making it sound. You're making it sound like it's pejorative.
No, like
he was a president. He's above voicing a building.
No, he kind of is. Like that's like that station is supposed to be respected. And like when you do stuff like that, like when you run a reality show, for example, like it kind of dilutes.
Yeah, he's not good enough.
I mean? He's not an actor.
He's too good to voice a building, but he's okay voicing 2 penguins fucking.
But he was talking about the 2 penguin thing. He wasn't the voice of a penguin.
But wouldn't it be? It would be like a great narrative choice that like Lumen, this company that like seemingly owns everything in this world, is so big that they were able to get Barack Obama to like narrate their like be the voice of the video.
You know, I mean that'd be a funny statement.
Reagan would have done it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, also an actor.
Please help. That is the name of a person, not what I desperately need right now. Please help over in the Patreon. Thank you so much. If you guys could each pick a series / franchise / IP / whatever to either revive from the dead with a new sequel or drastically change the direction of because it's gone off the deep end, what would you want to see? Nick, you can't say Pain.
Leave me alone.
Or are you going to say Viva Pinata? You can't say Pain or Viva Pinata. Casey, you can't say Mega Man.
Shit.
I don't know why I keep. No, I don't know why do I keep saying this.
I know I
you
would
can't
have said
say any game you like, Marty.
So I should probably think harder because I would have said.
Think of a franchise you hate.
You can say whatever you want. The one that immediately went to mind for me, just because I wrote about it in my Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii video earlier this week, was Skies of Arcadia. Which is just a delightful air pirate JRPG that Sega is just sitting on. Sega, what are you doing? Spruce it up a little bit, put it, fucking charge me $30. I paid $11.99 for War Monkey. You know how much money I'd pay for Skies of Arcadia? God. It sounds like a sex thing that I paid $11.99 for War Monkey, but it's the name of a video game that I bought on Steam. I have receipts and whatnot.
Okay, I think I have an answer for this now.
Okay, let's hear it.
Do you remember EA's series of third-person, not first-person, but third-person James Bond games? It started with Everything or Nothing.
I do. Yeah, there was
And
like
then they
From
did-
Russia with Love.
Yeah, From Russia with Love. They used
Connery for that
Pierce
one?
Brosnan in the first one,
Hmm.
and then Sean Connery in the second one. I never played the second one. I don't think it was as well received as Everything or Nothing, but Everything or Nothing is one of my favorite games ever. Like, it was such
Oh,
a
yeah.
good translation of James Bond into video game form. Like, every bit as good and intriguing as, I would say, GoldenEye, but GoldenEye was just a really good shooter before it was like a good Bond game, really.
Yeah.
This was like, Everything else was a great Bond game. Like, you had access to all these different gadgets, like different, like varied levels. Like, there was like car specific levels and stuff. They had Bond moments where it's like you had the ability to do like really cool or interactive things in a level, and then like you would have to discover what it was by just thinking like, oh, if I shoot this thing, it'll cause this chain reaction that like falls on some people, and like that's something Bond would do, right?
That's why the Hitman dev is perfect for the Spawn project.
Yes,
they're doing.
yeah.
Like, that is absolutely going to work with them.
Yeah, I feel like that was such a really good fit. So
Yeah.
like I might actually get this wish, but like I want that to come back because those games were actually really, really fun, and I love the Bond franchise in general.
So do I. Yeah, I liked the Bond license games, even the ones that weren't great, were still fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of just good, mediocre to great games.
Yeah, 100%. Nick, do you have any? I'm sorry, I yelled at you about Viva Pinata.
Yeah, I was trying to think, like most of the franchises I like are still around. If I have to throw one out there, I feel like the type of game we don't really get anymore is like Mercenaries. It's like really fun, co-op sandbox action and adventure games, because they're either Left 4 Dead style co-op games or roguelites and all that anymore. Like, we don't just get a lot of like go blow shoot stupid shit up, like
Yeah.
closest thing would have been the new Saints Row, but we all know how that turned out. So
Rip. Yeah, Mercenaries is great. I love Mercenaries. Tom Holland over in the Patreon. My God, on the set of the Odyssey. Oh, incredible! Said, if you were going to live in a video game world for a year, which would you pick? I put Animal Crossing because it seems nice.
Like real chill. Yeah.
It seems chill. Once a week, a dog comes and plays guitar in the cafe, which seems very nice. My worry is that I'd be allergic to all my neighbors because a lot of them have fur. So that's like a worry.
But you wouldn't have like a real nose though. You'd have like a triangle, so probably good.
Oh my God, that seems like it would be a nightmare to wake up without a nose. It's just a triangle. I think I might take it back. I don't think I like that. My other answer was going to be Persona, and that's just Tokyo, and I could just go to Tokyo. So that's kind of a dumb answer.
Yeah.
It's just Tokyo, but like every so often a god tries to kill the city. I don't know. I think Animal Crossing seems really nice.
Like I always struggle with questions like this because I don't necessarily really want to be in like these like anime or video game worlds. Like, there's always shit happening. It's like, I'm not gonna go to this world and be safe unless I'm possibly the hero in that case. But then like I got a shit ton of possibilities. All my friends and family might die. Like it's real stressful, all right, being in a video game land.
Nick, do you want to get flung through a pain slingshot?
No, I would live in Kingdom Come Deliverance too. So I basically just live there.
But isn't there like the average age? Like, doesn't everyone die when they're like
that
30,
sounds
32?
awful. That sounds
great.
so awful.
It sounds great. You have like a fun
32 sounds great.
Yeah, you have a fun youth. You get to go throw shit at people's houses and then you die. That's it.
My brother, if you want to do that, we can make that happen. You can throw shit at houses on a Thursday and die on a Friday. This is America.
It's true.
Yeah. And you could do flip cup on a flip cup? Beer pong. I like Flip Cup better than beer pong.
That's fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're both drinking games, right?
It don't have to. Flip Cup could just be like, how good are you at flipping a cup? And beer pong could just be, how good are you at throwing a ping pong ball in the cups?
Sure. That's true.
Yeah. You just drink a bunch of juice.
Sport.
That's what I would do.
There you go. Stop calling them sports. They're not sports.
It's a sport.
Stop
you throw a
calling
ball,
them
there's a
sports.
sport. If you throw a
Is
ball,
there a video game based on it? No.
Yeah, in Halo Forge, you can play beer pong.
You're all dead to me. Antifar, thank you so much, Antifar, said, I love the experimental stuff you've been doing on Patreon. Do you see those as just fun breaks from the usual, or do you consider them pilots for future projects / spin-offs / new directions? Keep up the good work. I think it's a little bit of A and a little bit of B. Some stuff could just be fun,
really
one-off
like
stuff.
you.
Other stuff can maybe have, obviously like Yahtzee did that great video where he read the Kingdom Hearts lore. That's obviously something that could be replicated across a number of series, because it turns out video games have really dumb stories. So there's no bottom to that. Well, yeah, and I've been starting the kind of pre-pro on mine, which will go up in a few months, and I'm liking it. It's very different than anything I've done for Second Wind or for The Escapist. But I'm
kind of
really
like one of those things, like if the community really, really likes it and wants more of it, then there's a possibility we might do more of it. But otherwise it's just kind of, it's our team's way of like, hey, this thing might not do well on the channel as it normally would, but I want to make it anyway, so let's do it.
Yeah, and literally the Patreon is patrons of the arts, and so it's for the folks who give us $5 a month, which we're extremely grateful for. It's like, hey, we made a thing, and this is for you guys who give us $5 a month, which is very cool. There you go. Barris P, thank you so much, Barris, said ongoing talk shows work partly because of the chemistry and some form of familiar give and take between the hosts. How did yours form? Is it an automatic or in time that chemistry inevitably forms? Are you happy where it is? Do you think there's more to do? That's a question a couple people have asked, like, who want to get into streaming or podcasts or anything like that. And I feel like the answer is just reps. It's just like anything. You got to put up the reps. You got to be real bad at stuff for a while before you can become good at it.
Yeah, in our case, like, I streamed a lot with both Marty and Casey individually before we started.
That's true.
Breakout. So there was rapport built up just from streaming together and kind of figuring out each other's style of humor and talking random shit all the time, and then kind of everybody got paired together. I don't remember why how you two specifically got involved. I don't remember.
I don't know why first of all, like, that Casey and Marty stream, that's been going on for a while now.
Yeah.
several years old now. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was because
what did it start with?
It started with Dead Space, and it was because Nick, because I think Marty, you were very well versed in Dead Space, and Nick was trying to find games that would scare me.
Oh,
always
it turned out nothing scary because we're just not even talking about the game.
But I'm just in general not like scared of scary games. I don't like them generally as well. But like even the ones that are like, oh, this is a good scary game, like I don't really get scared. Like it's kind of just rare for me. But yeah, streaming a scary game is definitely not going to work. But yeah, honestly, like I was super hyped to stream with Marty because like I've listened to Marty like on the IGN podcast for like years and years before he started working alongside me. So like I always felt like I was friendly with Marty probably before Marty ever felt friendly with me.
Parasocial relationship.
Right, yeah. So it was that. It was basically that.
Was the whole ethos behind Escapist for me. It was pairing new talent with older talent to raise all ships, I guess. So I think all of our podcasts back at the Escapist had. Yeah, well, I guess Marty just likes the podcast a lot. He was on everything.
I want less. I want fewer. And
sure, you don't want to do the Marvelous Escape and Escape the Galaxy again?
No, because it's just going to be Darren and I chain smoking and being like, "What fucking happened to our comics?"
Yeah, this is a bad time to go back to those.
Joe says Marty just got called old talent. I'm old talent at this point.
You're playing beer pong. You're not old. Nothing old about that.
Industry-wise, I'm old.
And then the final super chat before we go into what we've been playing, which talks a little bit about what Nick's been doing. Bookworm776, thank you so much. Bookworm says, would you be willing to talk a little bit more about the publishing consulting arm that you're introducing through Second Wind? Speaking of Lost and Found, I do understand if you want to keep that stuff off the main channel, so no worries. So yeah, Nick, do you want to just give a quick overview for folks who might not have seen the announcement?
Yeah, so to be very clear, Lost and Found is not a publishing arm in any way. It's a completely work-for-hire arm that we've created within Second Wind, so that will those projects will fund Second Wind as part of one of our revenue streams that we've been planning since the beginning. It's funny when you go back and look at that original planning doc I made and how good we've done at just following everything that we set out. But last year, obviously, our Patreon really took off at the start and gave us a lot of that backing, extra funding, so that we could just focus on our core content. But now that the Patreon is kind of balanced out based on people leaving and things that happened and all that, work for hire was always part of our plan to bring in another revenue stream so that we had something that wasn't reliant on views or asking the community for money or anything like that. So now we have something that, hey, people want to hire Lost and Found to make something for them. They pay us for it, and we are done with it. We don't have to worry about views. We don't have to worry about anything. It's just a project that we get paid for. So Lost and Found will be mainly Javid and I. Omar and Matt will be helping out as auxiliary editors on it when we need the extra help. But essentially, we're providing a affordable service for developers anywhere, really, if they want to hire us for our video editing capabilities so that we can make trailers or dev diaries or paid for documentaries or anything they want, really. Branding, and then a lot of that will be handled by Javid. And then on my side, I will be handling giving them kind of consulting advice on social media strategies and helping them get their Steam pages set up and kind of a lot of extra help on outreach and all that, making sure that they know how to actually communicate with the press, because a lot of developers have trouble with that. They don't know what to send the press. They don't know how to format their emails. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of creatives are creatives. That's why you're creatives. Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. So I think we're in a really unique position with our skills across all the creative side of things to bring it to the business side for game devs as well.
Hell yeah. Yeah, and to anyone wondering, this isn't pulling things away from Second Wind. We're no streams or video series or anything is being pulled away. This is mostly stuff that if you just watch Second Wind, you won't even notice. But it is a thing that Nick and Javid are working on and something that we're all excited about. So
yeah, if you want to see the work we're doing, you can go. There's a Lost and Found YouTube channel. You can go subscribe to that, and we'll be posting all the trailers, dev diaries, all that kind of stuff that we do over there. And it'll actually, we're excited about that YouTube channel because it's actually going to act as a kind of a curation page for the games that we choose to work with.
If we would have done this, if we would have launched a week earlier, could have done War Monkey. I don't even know. You know what's weird? I don't know how I found
War Monkey is weird. I don't know.
It's like the beginning of a spooky short story where it's like a thing arrived on my doorstep. Like a box arrived on my doorstep and I opened it and the War Monkey was inside. I don't understand how it works. Yeah, that's super cool. I'm really excited. You and Jay will be meeting with folks you'll be meeting with folks at GUC about Lost and Found. And you and Jay will just be meeting with folks in general for cool stuff.
Yep. And, first game we're working on is The Darkest Files. It's a historical investigation game where you try to put Nazis in prison.
Damn.
Oh wow. How
they're not like us for real.
How timely, eh?
God, everything's terrible.
A lot of people should play this game and learn exactly how to do what it wants you to do.
Yikes. A couple super chats before we get to the closing out with what we've been playing. Denmark with another $5 dono. Thank you so much, Denmark. It's hard to tell how cool the tree will be when you're looking at the seed. It's the same with Demon Souls and my favorite game, Persona 3. See, it was beautiful. That was beautiful, Denmark. Fungus Finder with a $2 dono. Thank you so much. For real though, please re-release Freelancer. Chris Roberts is too busy on
Yeah, good thought.
on Star Citizen.
What was that? Casey, did you cover it? Or maybe Yahtzee did something on it back. It was a freelancer type game, but it had like Yahtzee definitely covered it at some point. But it's like it's a freelancer type game with like not Cthulhu, Lovecraftian like space monsters. I forget what it's called though.
Oh,
that is just not ringing any bells.
Yeah, you didn't cover it. Yahtzee did.
Interesting.
Somebody in chat will know it. Somebody in chat always knows.
Oh yeah, there was a great episode Lost in Time on that.
Yeah. Did you make that one?
What a great series.
Who made that one?
No. Wasn't me. Colin?
Oh, Colin Munch, yeah.
Yeah. Was not me. I only did the Resi one.
What a great last name. Munch.
Munch is a great last name. Shout out to Colin. And then Beast March with a $2 dono. Thank you so much, Beast March. As always, good luck with the new side off second win. Hell yeah. Thanks, Beast March. Appreciate you. Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to see where that takes off. Casey, what have you been playing? What have you been watching?
What have I been playing?
Watching anything. You can talk about anything you want.
I been playing on Monday. I played a game called Declines Drops.
Mm-hmm.
Very strange title, but beautifully animated game. But that said, very strange game. I don't fully understand what is.
It's all hand drawn.
The story,
the entire thing is hand drawn, hand animated.
Yeah, hand drawn.
It's like it plays like Pizza Tower.
It doesn't. It plays
more of like an action.
It's like it's like a platform, and like it's level based, so it's not like a Metroidvania, but it's just like an action platformer. Very traditional. Like there's an overworld and everything, even though it's fairly linear in that way. But its sort of unique hook is that its control scheme is very Smash Bros. Like all your attacks are direction based, and then there's specials, there are normals, and there are smash attacks. And like it's just, maybe it's a me thing. It feels really good to move around and like do stuff in that game. Like the levels aren't particularly difficult, but they are like involved. Like there's like Donkey Kong-esque like barrels that shoot you around. There's like things that you have to like do down attacks on to bounce really high to like, platform around. So like it's just it feels like busy work, but like in a good sort of zone out and just play through a fun video game sort of thing. But the thing that really kind of puts it over the top for me is like its soundtrack is phenomenal. Like we were sitting on stream and just vibing to like this very relaxing, like jazzy like tunes, and like apparently the composer popped into stream as well and was like,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, like telling us just like interesting things about like the game and about his work on it and stuff. And like I've been listening to the soundtrack since then, which is making me want to just jump back into the game and like keep playing it, because like again, like it's the sort of thing that just feels like if I get a free second and I just want to do something with my hands and like listen to cool music, I can do both by just putting on Declines Drops. But that being said, again, very strange game world. It's basically as nonsensical as like the first Mario is to like the Western audience before we would normalize to whatever all that shit was. On
yeah.
It's like I don't know what's happening in this game.
This game looks really good. You should do a little video essay on it.
Only
100 reviews on Steam.
We'll see. Yeah, I'm liking it. I will go back once I get some time to check it out.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, check out the soundtrack. Like it's really freaking good.
Oh yeah.
Outside of that, I also checked out Mecha Break, which its demo or beta, I should say, hit Xbox. I think there's gonna be some sort of tie. I believe the game's gonna be free to play, but it seems very early, even in this beta. Like, and I know that's what beta means, but this seems like a proper beta where the game is not at all finished yet. Like there's you get to make a character, and there's like a little bit of an on-ramp of like single player as content, but it's actually very it's PvP based. Well, PvP VE.
Mm-hmm.
But like you progress by doing more like multiplayer matches. And if you don't know what Mecha Break is, think Armored Core, but free to play and also multiplayer. It honestly, I don't want it to sound like pejorative or like disrespectful because I liked what I played, but it sounds like it feels like I should say they looked at Armored Core 6 and was like, we could do that faster and cheaper. And like they kind of did, like it feels like a cheaper, lighter version of what Armored Core does really well in terms of like controlling like a mech and like having really high speed fights. Everything just feels less weighty. Like it's really hard to say. Like you really can feel the difference in weight, and I don't know if that's because of either the speed the game moves at or just like the speed of the animations that the mechs have versus like say something in Armored Core. It's really hard to
like
pin
a
down.
philosophy thing. Like Zone of the Enders, the mechs felt very floaty and like zip zoop, and they didn't feel heavy at all. Whereas like I completely agree that in Armored Core, like you can kind of feel that heft, especially if you're futzing with what kind of mech you have. Yeah,
and there's different varieties of mech. There's more like presets for sure, as opposed to like straight from the ground up customization. There's tons of like visual customization. You can even customize your pilot, which there were some articles that came out before I checked it out, and they were right. This game is mad goony.
Boobies.
Like it is absurd.
You can't even see your pilot,
detail.
Can you?
Oh yeah,
like for like in cutscenes and stuff they'll show them, but not in regular gameplay. But like they are gratuitous in terms of when you can see the pilot, like what they're showing you and how they're dressed and stuff.
I'm back in.
For like it's really bad on the female character, but they also do it to the male character. Like you can control like butt cheek height and whatever for the guys too. It's really dumb. It's not. They don't have individual heights for the cheeks, but just the fact that you can separate and lift and whatever, like the breasts and the buttocks and the cheeks. It's ridiculous. It's gratuitous.
I think
there's no reason for it.
Good Squad, rise up.
Unsurprisingly, after this last thing, I believe this was the most played game during Nextfest.
It was okay.
I believe it is at the top of that list of this list, which I believe is in order of most downloaded. So it goes this and then Among Us 3D, which you can also separate the butt cheeks. And
don't they start separated in? I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like they got the Ren and Stimpy like different butt cheeks going on there. Yeah.
But yeah, like aside from that, like it is. Like it's a really fun introduction to that world. It's a little light on content as well because you really just jump in and do the multiplayer matches. And I don't know if I was playing against bots the whole time. Like I played like maybe 3 matches, but like I didn't die once.
Maybe you're just so good.
Maybe I'm really good. I don't know. But there are NPC characters in the world because like it's objective based stuff too. Like you have to like defend certain points or like capture bases and whatnot. But then like there's an opposite team trying to do the same thing, and like it seems like there are like AI guys who are helping both sides too. So like you have other targets to focus on rather than just other players. So like it mixes up so that you're not constantly getting like killed by people. I guess if you're like not bad. But I also like its respawn mechanic in that when you basically you have like a bunch of shielding. And when you go to 0, you essentially break off and are like a much lighter, faster version of your mech. And so that allows you to escape. And then like you can spend that time after escaping doing damage to like build up like a meter, which will then let you put your armor back on. Or if you're careless, you'll get killed for real in that state. So it's kind of like a down but not out state that doesn't actually put you out. You get to still play.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so like I really like that. So I was using that to basically not die. So I liked it. It's a fun time. Compared, like it definitely seems like it's riding on the heels of Armored Core 6, and Armored Core 6 is a phenomenal game, so that's not a bad template to follow. This does feel like a lighter version though, so like don't go into it thinking like it's Armored Core 7.
Sure.
and it's going for a different thing as well. Like this is a multiplayer like arena
free to play. Yeah.
Free to play thing. Yeah.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like loot boxes, currencies, all that stuff is in there.
My faves.
You like the really fast moving mechas.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to that Steel Hunters game, which is the slower moving mech game.
Like just get in a tank. What are you doing? If you want to move that slow, why put legs on it?
Right.
Get in a tank. You want to watch anything else?
Oh yes, actually. there's a series that's new, airing on Adult Swim called Common Side Effects. Like I saw it a while ago and it intrigued me a little bit, but to be honest, the art style put me off.
Yep.
Like it's Eric has a picture on screen. It's like really ugly looking characters for the most part.
I was in the same boat, and then they said, "Oh, some of the folks who worked on Scavenger's Reign is on this." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, wait, I might be
you
aboard now."
can see that. You can see that level of detail in things that aren't the characters, like the world, for example, and stuff. Like has like very highly detailed, beautiful looking like surroundings and whatnot. The voice work is also really, really good. I don't recognize any of the people. I feel like I tried to look them up. I didn't recognize anyone from anything in particular. But the voice work is really good. It's not created by Mike Judge, but he is a producer in it.
Mhm.
So he has like a finger on this. Mike Judge from King of the Hill, etc. But the premise, if you don't know, essentially this guy, Marshall, is sort of like he's basically fungus finder, right? He's a mycologist who stumbles upon like a mushroom that is essentially the cure-all to everything. And upon doing that, he becomes target, like public enemy number one to Big Pharma. And as you know, Big Pharma is a powerful entity in the country. And like it is like all that sort of high conspiracy nonsense that you hear like fringy people going on about the man and blah blah blah, but like put in like kind of a realistic premise, but with this fantastical sort of wonder thing in the center of it. Like this doesn't exist in the real world, but if it did, things might play out like this. And like it's funny, but it's like comedy doesn't seem to be like the core of the story. It's actually very dramatic and like serious. Like they drop hella F-bombs, like people die, like there's like gore and stuff in it. Like it's pretty adult. And like it's really compelling. Like it's still airing right now. I think the first 8 or 9 episodes are out. New episodes drop on Mondays, and I'm like I didn't realize it wasn't all out when I started it, but like I burned through it as soon as like I understood what the premise was. And I only started it because they released like the first episode for free on YouTube. Like this is a HBO Max joint. So like the first episode they released on YouTube, like I saw the first 5 minutes and I was hooked by then because like they introduce you to the premise and like it's really, really strong. So like I like it a lot. I'm really hyped to see how this first season ends.
It's funny. It's the just the take on Big Pharma reminds me. Have you seen the trailer for the new anime from Watanabe, the Cowboy Bebop?
No.
Okay. So he's got a new show coming out in like a month. I think it comes out in April. That is about, it's a dude who created a miracle drug like 30 years in the future that's like fixes everything. It like solves everyone's problems. Everyone on Earth starts taking it, and then once everyone's taken it, he like supervillains into all TVs and is like, oh, by the way, that actually has a slow acting poison in it, and you're all gonna die in 3 years.
I have seen
unless
this.
you can find me. It's about like a group of like 5 ragtag people getting together, being like, well, let's try to fucking find this guy.
I have seen this trailer.
Yeah.
Like the animation on that looks insane. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be checking that out.
I'm just saying, it turns out Big Pharma might not have our best interests in mind. I'm slowly starting to realize that.
Yeah.
Anything else,
Interesting
Casey?
premise. Yeah, I'm also burning through Castlevania Nocturne.
Oh, nice.
I finished season 1. I did not realize how much of that series introduces and leans on like African mythology. Like that was like a complete surprise to me. Like they had a rather prominent sci-fi writer who is Nigerian named Temi O, who did like those episodes specific to like the history of like because they have characters who are essentially like Caribbean ex-slaves who started a revolution, probably like referencing like the Haitian Revolution, and then like making their way to France and trying to help with the French Revolution. Like, but this is all in the backdrop of like vampires and shit. But like these characters are tied to like African deities, and they have powers and abilities tied to African deities, and like it feels like an entirely separate like mythology and show that has crashed into Castlevania's lore and stuff, but it's like really freaking cool.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, like it's dope. Like I'm in the very beginning of season 2 right now, but like, God, they also like in comparison to Castlevania season, the series one, um, the animation is great, like jaw-droppingly great in that first one. But they kind of outdid themselves in this new series. Like everyone kind of got like a sort of glow up and just raw quality. And like the easiest way to see the difference is looking at Alucard, like just the way Alucard is drawn versus series 1 and series 2. Like he kind of looks almost like a different character, but he's so much more like elegant and radiant. Like he looks he looks godly in the new series. Like it was shocking when he appeared finally, because it was like, oh my god, like taking him back by him.
Took my breath away.
Like, it's amazing. Like I'm loving it so much. Like to the point where like I play Smash regularly. Like I just started playing Richter again. Like like why not?
There you go. The power of anime. Truly.
Why not? But yeah, that's it.
Are you gonna watch the Devil May Cry series?
Yeah.
In a few weeks.
Yeah. Now that I'm
did you see what the opening credits are?
No, I didn't see the opening credits. I saw like a little snippet of him talking trash to some demon.
The intro sequence is Limp Bizkit's "Rollin'," which let me tell you, still bops. Still pops.
That gives me faith that they are hitting the nail on the head. In terms
they understand the tone.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
No, that's really good. I can't wait for that. That sounds like it's gonna be good.
Cool. Nick, you been playing, watch anything?
Yeah, I'll start with my shows because I'll get through that really quick. But there's so many. All of my favorite shows are all airing at one. Well, not my favorite shows, but a lot of shows I like are all airing at the same time. So I'm still working through Severance. I'm working through Invincible season 3, which has been excellent, by the way. If you haven't started that,
I haven't watched it's too ugly. I think that show's too ugly. I think the show's too ugly.
Yeah, it's great. The story, everything's great. If you don't like the art, watch it for that. Then Reacher season 3 has also been great. Been really having a lot of fun with that. Very funny.
They put a bigger guy in that.
They put a much bigger guy.
They found a bigger guy.
There's the best scene with him is, obviously I'm not done with the season yet because it's not all out yet. But like, there's a scene where like he wants to arm wrestle the big guy. And he's essentially, the guy's like, I'm gonna crush you. And Reacher's like, okay, let's find out. So he does the arm wrestle thing, and then like just lets his hand go, and the guy punches himself in the face. He's so upset.
I can't believe how much bigger he is than Reacher.
Oh,
what if they find a guy who's even bigger than this guy, and the guys just keep getting bigger?
Like when will it end?
Yeah, eventually they have to find the biggest dude. And there's no more big guys.
Yeah, I love Reacher because like the show knows it's not serious, and so it's like Reacher just kind of goes along with everything that's happened to him. He's like, like, yeah, this big guy wants to fight, all right, I'll kick his ass, no big deal. Dude's like climbing through windows, and my dad was watching the first episode with me, and he's like climbing down a gutter, and my dad's like, that gutter would not hold that man. It's like, yeah, you're probably right.
that's 100% a dad observation during a thing. That's not structurally sound.
But man, real. Yeah, I haven't even gotten time to watch 1923 has started its second season, which is that spin-off prequel to Yellowstone. Looks really freaking good. Yellow Jackets season 3 is airing right now. Haven't even gotten to start that yet. And then the Wheel of Time comes back next week as well.
Are you excited for that? I feel kind of warm.
I liked season 2 a lot more than I liked season 1. A Wheel of Time.
I just realized I don't think I saw season 2. Like that's how lukewarm I was on. Like season 1 was fine. Like I liked it, but then like it didn't come back.
Yeah, I didn't watch season 2 until it was all done. I watched it like the end of last year because I was like, finally, I was like, I'll see if I like it anymore. So yeah, I thought season 2 was much smoother with its writing, and the action scenes are actually a lot better in season 3. At least the trailer looks really good. So, you know, I don't think it's the best fantasy show as Netflix or as Amazon likes to put in their trailers that it's breaking new ground for fantasy shows, but It's good
That's
enough.
just like slap in the face to the $1 billion they spent on Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, pretty much. Which
Did they cancel that Carnival Row show, whatever
they
that is?
did after season 2. Yeah, I haven't watched season 2 yet because they canceled it. I'm like,
Wasn't that breaking new ground?
broke a little too much ground and it fell
You know
right
what?
through.
Out of all the fantasy shows that they canceled, they shouldn't have canceled that one because that one like actually had a really unique world and was really
it
good.
looked legit like weird. Like, okay, what
Yeah.
is this?
Because the other one that got canceled similar to that was like Shadow and Bone on Netflix, which I quite liked. So I haven't watched season 2 of either of those yet either. The only other show I've been watching is American Primeval, which is that Western show, that limited series on Netflix.
Yeah, watch that. That is bleak as fuck.
Very bleak. Yeah, I've only gotten through the first episode, and that show is brutal as shit. Yeah. The action scenes I think are all shot by the guy that did The Revenant. So yeah, if you like The Revenant action, you'll like American Primeval.
Like bear on man violence?
Sort of. But it's
There's a half scalping.
Yeah, there is a half
scalped
scalping.
and survives and just got to deal with being half scalped, which
Didn't that also happen in The Revenant?
Yeah, you just do it again.
So yeah, no, there's as Tempest does stuff. There's too many. Oh wait, sorry. I read the first part where it says too many shows. I was like, yes, I agree with you. And then they added that tried to be like Game of Thrones. Also, I agree with that. So yeah, lots of really good. Lots of really good TV going on right now.
A lot of stuff's coming. I mean, Andor and Last of Us are coming back in a few weeks.
Fuck.
Daredevil's back. Apparently, he's fighting a white tiger.
I haven't even started that.
That's
but
not
the
all
game,
out though, right? Daredevil.
I think the first 2 episodes.
First 2 episodes.
Okay. Yeah, I will wait.
The game that I have been very addicted to for the last week has been Knights in Tight Spaces, which is a tactical strategy game with some deck building elements. So you basically are in very tight spaces, and there's an actual narrative to the campaign, which you can change different difficulty options so that like on the normal one, if you die, you have to restart the entire campaign over, which I think is my biggest critique. Is like the writing was all the same, so you end up skipping everything kind of just to get back to each level. But as far as like strategy goes, I really like it. Like there's so many different cards that have all these different moves, and your placement of your character is super important in this game. Because like if you are let's say you're in the middle of 2 bad guys that are going to punch you, you slip out of the way and move to an adjacent thing. And if they are primed to already hit you, they will hit each other instead. Which is, yeah, it's really funny. So you can like, if you get really into the strategy of it, you can really set it up so like all these different chain reactions happen. So, oops, arrow guy shot a guy. Oops, he set off a counter of that guy, made him punch his friend. His friend countered back and punched him, and then yeah, it feels really satisfying when you pull off like a bunch of different chain combos together.
It doesn't have like a story or anything, does it?
No, it does. There is like a narrative. I wouldn't say it's super compelling. I'm much more there just for the strategy of the game. That's why I've been so addicted to it. But the art is really fun. In the trailers, they don't show a lot of the variety that you do end up getting. So there's actually a lot more color than what you see in the trailers that they've shown, because they're really only showing like the first area of the game. But there's also like some of the different things that they do for like the roguelike mechanics, where if you played a roguelike, I don't know, somebody's gonna yell at me in the comments for it, but you get like the map, right, and you get to choose 2 different directions, or 3 different vendors to go to get different things. But in this one, you can actually get side quests that take you like to a different part of the map, and you can get like, it's a risky mission to do, and you might get an extra reward for doing that side quest and then come back to the main track that you're on. So yeah, I really like it, and it's got ragdoll physics, so I'm always a fan of ragdoll physics.
Always a plus.
Easiest way to hear it.
Yeah.
Did you play the first one? Fights?
I did not, but I remember Jack recommending it back at The Escapist.
I thought that looked cool, but I never tried it. I'm a little disappointed they moved away from like the modern setting to fantasy, but I'm assuming it was to catch people's attention because everyone always buys a fantasy thing.
Yeah, but I think you should try this one. I think you'll like it. Yeah,
I am intrigued.
They get all kinds of different characters that you can use. So you you can just get a brawler that just martial arts everybody. You can get a knight, or you can get a sorcerer. There's magic in the game, so it gets. I haven't finished the story or the campaign yet. I keep dying before I get too far. It's on the normal difficulty. It's actually really hard, so I bumped it down one difficulty, and I've made it farther now. But
Imagine if you bumped it down all the way to the bottom, you'd be done with the game.
I don't want to be done with the game. I love it. It is my new strategy deck building addiction now.
No, it looks really cool. This is like the first time I've seen it in motion, and it just looks neat. I now want to play this game. It looks cool.
It's great. It's great on your Steam Deck. Play it on your Steam Deck.
You know what's not great on my Steam Deck? War Monkey. I only need 30 seconds on this War Monkey. I bought it. I do not regret purchasing it whatsoever. It is going to be, its MSRP is $14.99. It is on sale for $11.99. The game opens up with words on the screen. It is the skyline of a South American city, and it says, "Have courage." And then you hear fire and you hear the cries of the monkeys, and it says, "Have rage." And I'm going to tell you, I have never been so goddamn excited. I'm like, let's fucking go. And then you just become this little monkey. You got a jump button and a climb button. It's a little tough. The isometric view makes it a little tough to learn what to climb. So you are a small monkey in a strange, I don't want to say 8-bit world. It's like a pixel art. This looks like the kind of game that would kind of be like on a computer at school. A little bit.
That you found like on addicting games.
Yeah, and you play as a
Math Racer or something like that.
Yeah, so it can be 4-player. It could be 4-player co-op, like local co-op, or you could just play as the one monkey, which is I did because I don't have a monkey partner at the moment. And the whole thing is you have a thirst meter that's also your energy meter, and you just need to find little pockets of water and drink from the water to become the warm monkey. And every once in a while, I would just find more monkeys, and achievements kept popping up because they were different, like brands of or I guess what do you call them? Species of monkeys? Not brands, definitely not brands of monkeys. Like types of monkeys,
different casts of monkey.
And I had several monkeys just following me around as we were exploring. We were drinking water, we were climbing buildings, and we got to a very dangerous highway. And I felt like we had to cross the highway. I assumed that's where the level was taking us. And my monkey immediately got ran over by the car. And then I became the monkey behind me. That monkey immediately got ran over by a car. And so I was like, oh, I need to climb this lamppost to kind of cross. And so I climbed the lamppost and I jumped and I made it to the other side of the street, but then I just slapped on the pavement and died. And then my Steam Deck got extremely hot and the game crashed.
Games like
and that was about 20 minutes before we went live because the game only became available at like 5 p.m. this afternoon. So so far those are my warm monkey experiences from the front line. I will be back next week for if I can get a little further.
So you didn't suss out like any real objective, like you're kind of just aimlessly wandering?
So the camera starts in a bottom right hand corner of a city and then pans all the way up to where you are, and so I just felt like I needed to get to that bottom right hand corner.
That was right. Okay.
Strand type game.
This might be. I think this is the world's first Strand type game. But there's like a score, so I think it's meant to be replayed and kind of just futzed around. This kind of feels like an installation project, like something that'd be at a museum for weirdos.
The Museum of Marty.
Yeah, I like the sound design quite a bit, though. So shout out to the sound design.
The art is interesting.
I think it's beautiful. I genuinely love how the game looks. I do. I like ugly things. Not pejorative. We always talk about like the PS1 style, which Casey in N64 and Casey, you're like, this is ugly, and I'm like, well, yeah, it's ugly, but it's like
it's ugly and it's proud.
Yeah, it's ugly. It's like the charm for me comes from the ugliness, but I understand that 90% of people just look at it and be like, no, that's just regular ugly. But yeah. More from the Warm Monkey. Who's that man? I like him. More from the Warm Monkey front lines next week.
While you're on the topic of Steam Deck, I have been being a big dumb nerd for the past week with my Lenovo Legion Go, which you can also do this with your Steam Deck. So I downloaded two pieces of software. One you have to install on your desktop, and the other you install on your portable PC. Moonshine and Apollo. And basically, it's for game streaming, so I can stream from my desktop to my portable computer in my house over local area connection. And I think like we've talked before about like using like GeForce Now or whatever to stream from your computer and stuff, and like latency issues, a lot of them. This is the smoothest experience I've ever had. Like, it's almost like playing natively from my computer on my Lenovo Legion Go anywhere in the house. It is so smooth. Like, I can play Monster Hunter at full settings on my Lenovo Legion Go, streaming it from my computer, and it's like I'm playing it right on my computer with controller connected on my TV and everything, full resolution, and it is insane.
Did you get the mod to turn off the ugly brown filter that I saw?
I did not yet. I did
Maximilian, dude.
I did like all those posts though showing me how to do that, so I'm going to do that.
Did you see that, Casey? Like, so they just modded. Oh, they modded the PC version of Monster Hunter and like removed the brown filter, and like the game looks good.
You removed a lot of like the visual noise out of it.
Yeah. I'll link it to you. I'll link it to you to see.
Yeah. Let me see, because I've seen, like, I watched all the Digital Foundry things on like all the visual issues and the performance issues and stuff on PC, but the console versions kind of are just fine.
Yeah,
so I don't know if I'm dealing with this particular.
I just dropped a link in the chat. I saw Maximilian Dude, the wonderful streamer / pundit, whatever the hell he is. And it's just a screenshot of like what the game looks like when all the brown and like the flare and all that stuff's removed.
But yeah, some people are asking about the Moonshine and Apollo. Like, you can go watch if you have like if you're tongue twisted. If your computer is connected to Ethernet and you want to try it, just go follow the tutorials on YouTube. That's what I did. And it's really easy to set up. Takes 5 minutes. But once you do, it's like having a brand new piece of hardware in your hand. It's fucking incredible.
Like, listen, get yourself a PlayStation Portal. It's like that, but you can play fewer games and worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that what you are doing sounds like the PlayStation Portal.
It basically is the PlayStation Portal, but for your computer. But like straight up, because like Xbox games and everything can run on your computer now. They sell them all on your computer. Almost do not need an Xbox anymore because of this thing. Because I can just have one of my little docks and hook it up to my TV and take my portable computer anywhere I go and just hook it in, and it plays like I'm on the computer sitting right here. It's crazy how good it is.
Because I think the Xbox app has
remote
had
play.
that same functionality, but like I don't know if it's as good as what you're describing. Because last time I used it was a very long time ago.
Yeah, it's Moonshine and Sunshine, I think, and then but the better branch of Sunshine is Apollo.
God of the Sun.
Yeah, but definitely like if you have the capabilities at home to try it, trust me, go try it, and you will be.
I'm really excited that handheld gaming like this is coming back in vogue with the Switch, with these Pocket PCs, with stuff like this, with the emulators like the Retroid Pocket and everything. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, you can't
obviously need to replace the stuff. I'm just glad it could exist alongside it.
Yeah, obviously you can't like play your PC games outside of the house. It only works on your local area network. At least streaming them, you can install them on your thing. But basically, I'm only doing this now because it saves my battery life on my Lenovo Legion Go. Like, it's like basically streaming a video at that point and not actually running a game on it, so it lasts a lot longer. But
that's wild.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where like a new tech thing that just blows your mind for a little bit, and I'm gonna enjoy that.
Yeah, you imagine how much better that's gonna get.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. And yes, Eric said you need a good router. Yes,
I'm sure.
Good router.
Yeah, no playing in your weird basement dead spots.
Yeah,
for this. That about does it for us for this episode. This topic-less episode that somehow ran longer than most of our normal episodes.
Somehow, so it's gonna be shorter.
I blame the warm monkeys.
How could we blame Warm Monkey? I got in and out with that one.
we had to time that one out. That was the thing everybody was here waiting for.
It was for the War Monkey thoughts. Yeah. So thank you for your War Monkey thoughts and prayers. Casey, what do you have going on? What should folks check out in your neck of the woods?
the huge. It's end of the week. Me and the fiance will not be streaming tomorrow night. We're going to take a little bit of a break because there's some stuff we need to get done, especially for our next challenge stream where we're going to basically dance and eat, playing Just Dance. We're eating strange food. Show up, have fun. That'll probably be, or I'm going to declare like that will be next Friday, because the next Friday after that will be the traditional wedding. Well, not Friday, that Saturday after will be the traditional wedding. So we probably won't be streaming that Friday either, because there will be a lot of people in this house. So
make them stream with you.
no, let's not do that. I do not need my parents understanding in any real capacity what I do.
Hey, my dad came on stream once. That was a weird sentence. He was on stream once.
Oh my God.
I don't know why you did that. You didn't have to do that.
Oh no, that's what it's like.
I was worried Marty was
going
to do it.
It sounds like when I say those things.
Yeah, I was worried Marty was going to do it.
So I should still be around for Super Smash Sunday. So and I think Jeff will be around as well. I did it solo last week, but 2 hours on Escapist, 2 hours on Second Wind, 3 hours on my channel.
Damn, 7 hours.
Yeah, it's too many hours. Remove the first 2 hours that I mentioned. Outside of that, this is an off week for Adventures Nigh, but if you haven't already, make sure you're checking out the brand new season 4 episodes. This stuff is brand new for me too. Like they'll sometimes put it in the thing for us to like review. Oftentimes I'm a little too busy during the week, so like it'll come out and like I'll just sit there and watch like a brand spanking new episode of the show that I was on and be like, that did happen. That's great. And it's really freaking good. Episode 2 is so good. I love that show.
Yeah.
But I think that's it. Check out my Monster Hunter video if you haven't already, and check out Jesse's Steam Nextfest video. That's going to feature me, Marty, Jess, and Jesse's thoughts on Steam Nextfest games.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. Nick?
Animal Doc is still cruising along in views, just past 120,000. So if you haven't watched that, go give that a look.
Hell yeah.
And then I will have a new episode of Unpacked out tomorrow, which covers some interesting news topics, like Acclaim returning as a publisher.
With Jeff Jarrett as one of the heads of New Acclaim.
Yes,
Casey, if that name sounded familiar to you, it's the Jeff Jarrett who was a wrestler in the 90s who would smash guitars.
I saw the Acclaim announcement. I had no idea Jeff Jarrett was a part of that. What?
Yeah, so it's fun episode of Unpacked tomorrow, and then we may be doing a game night stream on Saturday. We'll see. We can wrangle in some people. Other than that, Jenna and I will be back on Tuesday for another stream of a new game.
Damn, they keep making games.
They do.
I thought they did stop eventually.
Yahtzee and I are going to do a follow-up to our It Takes Two playthrough and stream Split Fiction together, so that will be fun.
The whole
thing. I'm desperately hoping there's another...
You're not going to stream the whole thing, are you?
I don't know. We might.
That last
Listen, I think he has to play that game very soon to write the scripts.
I guess we'll figure it out. I'm just hoping there's a scene as funny as the elephant scene in this one.
I'm really excited to play Split Fiction this weekend. Then as for me, I believe there's no Second Wind stream tomorrow. I'll be streaming on my personal channel in the evening, watching some anime, as one does on Fridays. Check out my video that went up early this week on Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Really proud of how that one turned out. And then just all the other stuff. The Nextfest video, is that coming up this weekend sometime tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Probably tomorrow afternoon. So
tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Hell yeah. And then also I've found out that I'm going next week's War Monkey is going to be a Secret Agent Wizard Boy in the International Crime Syndicate, which just came out in early access, which I'm very excited about. It looks like a PS1 Harry Potter game, but this is from all the Szymanski brothers. There's 3 Szymanski brothers who make games, and all of them got together to make this one. Szymanski brothers, they made most famously the Dusk, and then the one where you go Iron Lung.
Didn't you not like Dusk?
Dusk. I don't care about Dusk. Iron Lung is fantastic in my opinion. And they made one of them made that game Yahtzee and I played the other week where you are killing a bunch of dudes who make snuff porn.
Okay.
That's it. We're done.
This game looks like Lego.
Yeah, it looks like the PS1. Did you ever play the PS1 Harry Potter games?
No, I don't like Harry Potter that much.
Why are they fucking bouncing? That's weird.
Yeah, he was just beating somebody up with a turkey leg.
Yeah, video games are weird. Maybe they were a mistake. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone who watched live over on YouTube. So many members of the Green Gang. Appreciate you all of our wonderful listeners on your podcast service of choice. And of course, all of our patrons. We appreciate each and every one of you. So for Nick, Casey, Eric, and Marty, this was Firelink episode number 57. Have a wonderful rest of your evening/mornings, everyone. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.